Three, two, one. What's going on, everybody? It's Ash on Comics. It's that time of night where you get to listen to Ash on Comics. And I got real Dr. Venkman. He's kind enough to join me. Look, I was really tired tonight. Normally this is my story time, stream time, but I just don't have the mental faculties to read a comic. I got about 4 hours of sleep. And, but you know, I can sit here and just talk about nonsense. So we'll see how that works. People that had nothing to do or feel let down that I was not going to be here, then, you know, at least you get something. And I didn't have a book to read anyway. Maybe we can talk about what could be a good book for Tuesday. But without further ado, Venkman, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I'm the opposite of you.
I didn't need to hear your whatever you did. Did you like open a bottle?
Open up my Baja Fruit Punch Mountain Dew.
I'm drinking a Mountain Dew too, but it's Mountain Dew Zero. I've never tried it before, so I was at Wally World today, and I was looking for the thing you have. I really want to try that Baja. Not the Baja Blast. What's it called? Baja.
It's called Baja Punch.
Baja Punch. They got like 3 Bajas now.
Yeah, there's a pineapple one, which is the yellow box. There's the normal one, which is blue. And this is basically Dew with a blast of natural, artificial, tropical punch flavor. Oh.
That sounds good.
You know, when I first drank it, I wasn't really into it. But then I drank another one. I was like, I got used to the taste.
Yeah, so that sounds like there used to be a Mountain Dew called Mountain Dew Solar Flare.
Probably is.
And it was only available in 7-Eleven. Like, you couldn't buy it in bottles or anything. You could only get it from the fountain drink. And as you may or may not know, I have been known to frequent 7-Eleven from time to time. I really like the Solar Flare. I'm a big fan of punch anyway. I love, like, Hawaiian Punch was like one of my favorite drinks growing up as a kid. And so it's like Hawaiian Punch mixed with Mountain Dew. I was like, yeah, sign me up. So I'm really crossing my fingers, and I'm hoping that Baja Punch is just like a rebranding of the Solar Flare.
Might be. It's kind of like, it's hard to describe it. Like, it's just basically like you're having like fruit punch, and you would always add like 7-Up or whatever you want to add to it, you know, to make it a little fizzy and stuff. And that's kind of, but instead of tasting like a 7-Up, it tastes like a Mountain Dew with it. So I mean, obviously, so it matches what it says, fruit punch, basically. Because I was afraid it was gonna be like, you know, it tastes like when you're up chucking. You know, you have like too many cranberry shots.
Oh, that doesn't sound good at all.
Cranberry? You ever had cranberry in a Red Bull?
No, but I certainly wouldn't want to like taste something that tastes like barfing it back up.
Or sorry, not Sorry, not cranberry. What am I thinking? Jägermeister.
Oh,
and Jägermeister and Red Bull together. Kind of got that weird kind of taste.
That's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'll say it's better than Orange Livewire. Whatever they have.
Oh, Livewires might be my favorite Mountain Dew. I cannot find that anywhere. I'm drinking.
As I said, we still have it here. We have pretty much all the flavors.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about San Diego, man. It's just like the basics: Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, regular Mountain Dew. Like, there's none of the specialty things. Like, I was surprised the Walmart has the Pepsi Mango. I was like, oh shit, don't go crazy, guys. But they have the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, which I'm actually a fan. As I get older and I like my body can't handle. God, I'm a soda fiend. I'm a soda fiend, and like they're so bad for you, and I know this, but it's like my only vice. But I shouldn't be having so many sugars as I get older. And I just as far as drinks go, you know, I do like the Pepsi Zero. It actually is really good. So I was like, I'll try this Mountain Dew Zero. See, it's a lot better than Diet Mountain Dew. That's 100% for sure.
Pepsi Zero, is that pretty much just like Diet Pepsi?
It's like Diet Pepsi. It's to Diet Pepsi what Coke Zero is to Diet Coke. It's just like a new way of artificially flavoring it. And it is a better, like, it doesn't have that as diety taste that like, I can't drink Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke. That's like, oh. But the Coke Zero and the Pepsi Zero doesn't have that weird aftertaste. And this Mountain Dew Zero is kind of smooth too. It's not quite as good as regular Mountain Dew, but I'm not doing it because it tastes better. I'm doing it because I don't want to have my fucking pancreas fail.
It's because you're told to do the do. That's why.
Because I'm told to do the do.
That's why you're doing it.
Yeah, not too bad actually. Not too bad. Eric Breen would probably approve. Let's see who's Melissa's here. She's first. Dragon Massey's here. Also, HR Goes Vocal. What's up, HR? Ed Brewer. So this was a totally impromptu stream. You guys may or may not have seen that I put up the story time, but for Tuesday, just so you guys would know. But Venkman was nice enough to come on and talk, and we was like, let's just talk nonsense, whatever comes to our mind. And if anyone else wants to be on the mic, it's kind of like open mic night. Just let us know, and you gotta be in the Discord, but we can get you in. Did you go to the comic book, or you did go to the comic book store Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I did. I actually, well, you saw what I posted in the group, but I can go back over again.
But the audience didn't see what you posted in the group.
Let me scroll up in our chat.
Well,
that's the thousands of gifts.
Maybe our audience is only the people in the group. I don't know.
I picked up the Berserker. I got the one in, I think it's the 1 in 50 variant with Keanu Reeves pulling the pin on the grenade. That was $20, and then I got the red foil variant issue or variant cover.
You paid $20 for that, huh?
Yeah, I was like, just Keanu Reeves like that, with pulling a grenade.
You are down. You are down for the Berserker.
Oh my god, dude! The third issue is pretty good, and I love you're learning more and more about this character's past and stuff, and you're seeing things that's happening in the first $2, and now it's like, oh, that's why everything's going together. It's like, and I'm just thinking, man, this guy, I feel so bad for him. Like, because you're just seeing how history's repeating. He's immortal. He's been around since like the freaking caveman and all that crap.
I have not yet read the third issue.
It's saying it's surprisingly it's holding my interest, and I give you praise, Matt Kent, and thank you for liking my stuff on Instagram. You're awesome, bro. We need to hang out some more.
Who's liking you on Instagram?
Matt Kent.
Oh yeah, your new best friend, I hear.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys are like chums.
Yeah, they're gonna throw me in one of these issues. I'm gonna be his buddy. Me and Cal hanging out.
Well, I'm very much liking Berserker so far too. So
I'm glad it's a book. I'll say it's one of the. Is this probably the only book I've actually bought blindly without ever looking to see previews or anything like that. I just said I was right now people were like it's Keanu Reeves. I was like, and he's just doing like John Wick stuff, kind of yeah. It's like like sold. And it's one thing if somebody just says Keanu Reeves isn't like this, but if Keanu Reeves is actually involved in it, to me that actually makes it a little more like more meaningful comic book, whether you like it or not. And I really did. I enjoyed it. It has its slow moments, but it's an action and it's a suspense. It's a historical thing, just like the American Vampire. It's going through different time periods and stuff. I love it. So that's my for. And I forgot what is this Dark Horse or who's doing this book? What company?
This is Boom.
This is Boom Studios. Boom Studios has done a lot of good comic books.
Boom's on fire lately.
I know. I'm afraid they're not gonna hit the ceiling and then that's it. Because it's not. I don't know how common it is for, because I don't pay attention to like the speculators and all that crap. So to me, this is the first I've ever seen a studio come out of nowhere and just like, here, you want this? This is awesome. You want this? This is awesome. It's like, wait, they're actually like giving what the fans want. It's not heard of. So that was probably my biggest money I spent on that was those 2 books right there, because I always get 2, because not just because I want to flip it, because it's probably the second variant cover I got. That was a 1 in 25 or something. I got another one that's $20. So hey, whatever helps Keanu make this movie, make this Netflix show, whatever.
I only got 2 copies of issue number 1, and it's the 3rd print.
Oh,
I got that really rare 3rd print.
Isn't that crazy though? The 3rd print is like, it's more expensive, more rare than the first one.
Oh yeah, because they limited it to 10,000 copies. And when I heard they were doing that, I was like, "You're limiting this to 10,000 copies? This is like I had like a 650,000 print run."
Which is kind of smart.
That's one. What is it? 10,000. What was that? 1 in 650? Or what's the ratio? No. That'd be 1 in. I'm got my late night no sleep math.
Right.
650,000, 10,000. Drop the other zeros. So 650 divided by 10. So it's 1 in 65. So it's even more rare than your 1 in 50 variant.
Yep.
But
yeah. Like I said, like I think that's kind of smart of them. They actually make the 3rd print, limited more versus the first, because they knew the first. So they saw the first one go. They're like, let's do a second one. And hey, this guy, let's do something for the fans. We'll do the 3rd one, but do a limited number. And I mean, now some people say like, "Well, that's kind of you shouldn't do that." You're just giving money to the speculators and all that stuff. It's like, no, I think that's kind of cool for the people who missed out on the first 2 because it's sold out. Give them a chance to get the 3rd one, and then like, wait, your 3rd one's special. That's awesome.
That's exactly what you should do. I resent those kind of arguments where it's like, oh, speculators and stuff. Like, no. Collectability, that's what comics need to be. They need to be collectible. That's why people buy them. You cannot pirate collectability.
Yep.
if you only sell your comics on the value of the story, then you're basically going to lose out to just pirates who can just go on and be like, I'm just going to download this and read it and then throw it away and move on. And this is one of the things that's hurting the movie industry. It's hurting the music industry because there's no collectability. And I'm not saying there necessarily should be, but previously you had to buy like a CD or a record or whatever, or the movies, you had to go to the movie theater to see the movies. So they had a way of collecting their money, but now almost no one really buys CDs anymore. And with the movie theaters all being closed, everyone's being trained, well, I'm just going to watch it on my TV. And you're like, well, there's like 50 different streaming services. I only have a couple. Oh, this thing's on this other streaming service I don't have. I guess I'll go pirate it. It's just like, you're just teaching people there's no value. But, and despite whether you're whatever side of the corner you're on, like whether you're cool with pirating or not cool with pirating, the fact is it does exist. And if you're a business, you have to consider that. And I've always been like, dude, the biggest deterrent of piracy is just make your comics collectible. You can't pirate that part. If you want Berserker, right, and you're like, I gotta own it, I want it, it's going up in value, people, you gotta actually get it. But go ahead.
I was gonna say my other point is adding on to that is if you should be you should know that if people are going to pirate. That's just the way it is. People pirate movies, people the CDs, it's Napster, all that stuff. The thing is, you want to make your product so great that someone actually wants to have it in their hands. They're not content just reading online. They really want to own the physical copy because that's how much they love the book. So you should, with intent, when you're writing this stuff, even editors, if you're writing out crappy comics and you're upset that somebody's pirating is going to give you $4 for a crappy comic, you're the problem. It's not just the person who's pirating. Because the person could just be pirating another book, if they wanted to. That's the whole. Like I said, you need something that someone really wants, It's because most people are pirate are just casual readers. They don't really go, to the store to buy the book.
Well, that's
Maybe
true.
they don't. Or maybe they don't have an LCS by then. And they don't want to spend $10 because they got to pay shipping for a $4 book. And if you raise the price on the DC book, you're paying $14 sometimes.
So here was my pickup. I went to the comic book store today. It's on the screen. My pickup. Oh, I don't have it live for you. Let's see.
Is it a Chevy or a Ford?
Hold on. Never buy Chevy.
But
sorry. I had to switch that real quick.
Good.
So, this is my pickup. I got 3 books. Usagi Jimbo didn't come out today. It's like it was supposed to. Something happened, I think, with Diamond shipping. So I only got 3 books. This was over $20 for 3 books. I spent over $20, and I get a 20% discount at my store. It's like, she told me the price, and I was like, what? Because I had $9.99 book, a $7.99 book, and I think Berserker's $4.99. I can't remember. Do you remember? Do you have the book? I got the book right here.
The Berserker, I think it is $4.99. My books are kind of put away for the moment, though. But I think I might have to go check on League of Comic Geeks. Let me look. I think they are $3.99 for full bucks.
Oh, mine was $4.99. I guess maybe the foil is different. I got the foil version.
You know what? I almost got that foil version, the one on the right, and I chose to get the red one instead.
Did you get the foil version of the red one?
Yep.
Nice. I don't know. I'm a sucker for foils.
I me too. So I was like, do I want to get that or get the normal? And I was like, of course I want the foil. And that's what's the guy's name? Grandpa? Raphael Grandpa?
Yeah, Grandpa.
Yeah.
I like his art. Ed Brewer says, I recorded music off the radio, original pirate. Man, when I was a kid, I remember my grandparents. I always got spoiled by my grandparents. And I remember they were like, oh, we're going to get you, like, 'cause I would visit them every summer and they would get me cool stuff. And they're like, oh, what do you want? And I would be like, I want a boom box. And in the 80s, boom boxes were all the big thing. And so we went down, I think we got it at Sam Goody. And I got this boom box, and I was like, I thought I was the fucking coolest kid on the block because it was a boom box that the speakers disconnected from it. So you could like pull them apart and like they were on cables. So you could like, oh yeah. And it had a dual cassette deck and it had the high speed recording feature.
Nice.
That was like super cutting edge technology back in the day. So I could like borrow, if you had a music cassette or whatever, I could put it in and I could dub it like at high speed. Cause that was the thing. Like normally you had to like play the whole thing. It'd take you like an hour to record copy. Yep. And I was like, yeah. And that was my pirating back in the day.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, I mean, I was a little kid. I couldn't afford to be buying music all the time. So we just shared stuff.
That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people shared stuff because why? Because we can't each spend $20 to watch a movie. So what do people sit down? People sit down together and they'll watch. They'll pitch together, or they'll go by a friend's house who has the movie or the video game, and you play it together.
Yeah.
Everything was taken into consideration back then. Now with the whole streaming stuff and all that stuff, it's like if you want to watch this, you got to subscribe to Paramount. If you want to watch this, you got to get Hulu. If you want to watch this, it's the point. It's like people are like, I'm not paying for like 6 different services when I'm paying almost like $20 for each one, just so I can watch a certain movie. And it's not where do you go to buy movies now? Physical copies. You Best Buy, not really. Best Buy has a crap selection. They got rid of all their back stuff. They really have the new stuff now. They're kind of phasing it out. Walmart has some stuff. Target has some stuff. But like other than that, where do you really go? Because Suncoast was the place to go back in the day. Sam Goody. That's where you went for your CDs and your DVDs. But those are gone. So, and Barnes and Nobles, at least by me, they went under. There's one, but I have to drive like 30 or 40 minutes away, but I'm not going to do that every single time just to get a single movie. And even then, their back movies, old movies, which I consider to be classics, they're still paying $20 for them. Why? Because they're on Blu-ray. I mean, it's the point where it's
I
like,
only buy movies on Amazon anymore.
and that's the thing. It's like it sucks because everybody. I hate buying into one place. You go to one place to buy stuff, and that turns that person, into like unstoppable. It's what they want to use their money for, like fitting into the corporate giants. It sucks. And like I said, I don't want to go on a whole tangent, but like,
Yeah, I miss those. I miss those days.
everybody,
But
everybody owns something.
digital's replacing it, and I called this when Blu-ray came out. I was like, this doesn't feel like the proper successor to DVD. And it wasn't until and then digital kind of became a thing, and I was like, remember the original digital, where it's like, get yourself a digital copy, but it was like it lets you download it to your computer, and then you could just watch it from your computer, and I was like, well, this is no good because my hard drive only has so much space. I can only have so many movies on it. And then they started having cloud services like iTunes. You get your iTunes code. And then I was like, yeah, but what if I have my 5 movies on iTunes and 3 movies on Google and 4 movies over on Amazon? You got your library all over the place. But now with Ultraviolet and then Movies Anywhere, your collection is available on every service. That's the way. I don't even want discs anymore. Just give me the digital. Because I'm so lazy. I don't want to go look for the disc and put it in the player. Plus I like that I can pull it up on my phone, on my iPad. If I go to someone's house, I'm like, you want to watch this movie? Oh yeah, let's just log in and pull it up. It's so much easier. And people go yeah, but what if this happens? What if that happens? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, anything can happen with physical stuff too. Your house could burn down. You could lose all your stuff. Your discs can get scratched or break. And the thing with digital movies, I think the digital movie thing has really helped because I get so many movies at a discount when I buy digital.
Well, the other thing is I'm watching stuff through Tubi. You can't. Well, that's pirating. Not really. Tubi's free. It's a free service. These are movies that pretty much don't have, let's say, they're free to use.
Tubi's a legitimate service. It's ad supported.
Yeah. So
it depends on how you're streaming. If you're streaming it off some pirate Russian site that doesn't have the rights to the stuff, that what it means is the creators aren't getting money.
Yes.
Tubi, if you watch it, there's a monetization contract, and the creators have agreed and they have an arrangement to get revenue being played off of Tubi, and that's between Tubi and the creator. I don't care.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's totally fine. I like Tubi as well. Tubi's getting really surprisingly good. You know what I'm noticing in this day and age of streaming is a lot of the classic movies are hard to find.
It is.
And I'm talking about classics. To me used to be 60s movies, but nowadays I'm thinking classics like the 90s. Because if you go on Netflix and Amazon Prime, they have the movies, but they're movies of the last 10 years. If you're looking for a classic Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, good luck. But then you go over to Tubi and here it is. You're like, yeah.
So, well, see, now when I think of classics, I would think of 60s and stuff, and I don't really think of 90s. It's sad to think that the 90s would be considered a classic now because it's 30 years ago. But I hate the fact that it's been 30 years. It goes by fast. When I think of classics, I think of movies from the 40s and the 50s, 30s too. And that's Tubi has stuff from the 30s and the 40s on there too, as far as old noir stuff.
Tubi has all sorts of stuff. One thing that I just noticed, because I got together with my buddy and I was like, hey, you know what? Because he's the one back in the 80s. He got me into Hong Kong cinema when that became a thing.
Yep.
And he's big into Asian cinema and all this stuff. And I just was thinking, I was like, man, I really want to watch some Asian cinema again. And so I was like, let's get together and like once a week and watch either a kung fu or like an Asian like Hong Kong action flick or something, just and have some coffee. And he was all down for it. We got together. We watched an old classic. He's like, "Have you ever seen Master of the Flying Guillotine?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, you gotta." So, anyways, we watched it, and it was cool. And anyways, so I kind of got on the kick and stuff, and I was like going everywhere. Incidentally, I had found there's a streaming service just for Asian films, by the way, called Haya, which is only $2.99 a month, and it's got all sorts of kung fu, Hong Kong action, like all the gamut of Asian films. But anyways, Tubi has like all these like old school like 70s and 80s kung fu flicks.
Yep.
That you could not find. Like, you're never going to find these on Netflix or anywhere. Like, these are like the obscure stuff like that I grew up with. The stuff that's like the stereotypical, like you make fun of, where like the English dub doesn't match up with the lips and stuff, and it's just classic. I was like, dude, there's not just some. They have like this gigantic library. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna freaking.
To be fair though, you're not watching the kung fu movies just to see them talk. You're there to like see them kick ass.
No. Yeah, you're right. I'm just saying like that type of movie, because kung fu movies have become really sophisticated over the years.
I noticed that Amazon is trying to have a thing on there. They have a few stuff that's free you can watch, whether you're a Prime member or not. But like, yeah, Tubi has like everything. Like, if you like Sonny Chiba stuff, like Street Fighter and all that stuff, I love stuff like that. Or Sister Street Fighter, just stuff. The plots are usually over simple, and like I love it because it's Toei Animation, or not animation, but Toei Company, the one that does Dragon Ball Z and stuff. They're their distributor. And I just love it. Like, the bad guy is usually like the manga kind of style bad guy. He's like he, even though he's like, he's like like either a cripple, or he's like, he's wearing the black gloves, and he's got the suit on, and he's smoking this cigar. At the end of it, it's like, he's gonna, especially Sister Street Fighter, he's gonna go fight her, and also he gets up and he's doing all kung fu too. This guy I thought he was pretty much like, gonna be another wimp, but no, he's like, I'm the final boss. So it's like, I just love that when they do that in Hong Kong's like cinema movies like that, the kung fu, like everyone's involved. There's not just a wimpy guy who just hires like other guys and he just kind of cowers. And like, you see that Hollywood movies, like, the guy's like, well, you guys go kill him, and then at the end the guy's like, yeah, it's always your wimpy guy. No, the bad guys are just as ruthless, and they're showing ruthless too. It's like, it's like they'll kill a kid, they don't care. like they're always like the kind of like the same like stereotypical thing, But I love it though, and it's different from me. And like you said, these are movies just to watch, sit back with popcorn and a soda, and just have fun with your friend. There's no really like this has to be really in depth and stuff. No, you're just there to have fun. That's what a movie's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, have some hidden agenda or SJW crap in there. These are just legit good movies. So and so I mean, they got a whole list of just like, just listed the martial arts on just a Tubi for a genre. And then if you don't want to watch that, they got action movies, they got dramas, they got the old noir black and white ones. And then they got TV shows in there too. Like I said, I was watching Conan the Barbarian from like in the 90s. I used to watch it on TV.
Have you heard of this service, Just Watch?
A long time ago. I think they used to watch Just Watch. The old UFC fights back in the day.
Well, you can't really watch anything on Just Watch.
No. But there used to be links like that on a similar site.
Well, so what Just Watch is, there's a couple other sites that have been around that have been similar. I used to use one called Video, called Yidio with a Y, Yidio, but it kind of fell by the wayside. Mm-hmm. But Just Watch has kind of been the successor, and I really like it because it's an aggregator. And if you guys do watch streaming services, like more than one, this is a really cool website to use. And it's got an app so you can get on your phone and stuff. But if you notice up here at the top, it has like all these little buttons for the different streaming services. Now, these are customized to the ones that I use, right? So there's no like HBO Max because I don't have HBO Max. And that's important because I don't necessarily care what's on HBO Max because I don't use it. And I don't want to show. I only want to show me the stuff that I have available to me. So you go through and you tell it, here's the services I have access to. And then what it does is it shows you like everything. So when you're like, I want to look at movies, like right now I have it selected to all. So I go through and this is everything that's available to me on these services. So I can go through and I can mark if I've seen it or not, or if I like it or not, or whatever, like you normally would on Netflix. But let's just say you're like, oh, okay, I want to watch Loki, which I do like, so I can like it. I can click on Loki, and it'll tell me, like you see, okay, watch now. It's streaming on Disney Plus or whatever. I can just click right here, and it's going to launch Disney Plus and take me to watch Loki. So what's really cool about this is that if you have all these different services, you don't have to like bounce around. Okay, let's go over here and see what's on this. You can just look and then boom, and and immediately go to it. Which I think that's a really, really cool thing. And you can, like I said, you can mark if you like it. You can create your own watch list. So if you go, I want to mark that to watch sometime later, you can do that. So you can here get a peek at the stuff that I have on my watch list that I'm either A, watching, or B, want to watch. So here's like a good example. So like I have Watchmen on my watch list. I would like to see it, but it says currently no offers. So that means none of the services I have, it's available to me to watch. So that's why another reason some of these I can't see. But for instance, if I wanted to watch Stargirl, I could just like, oh, look, it's available on CW. Watch now. I could just boom. So this is a really cool way too. You could just manage the things that you watch. And it simplifies your streaming so much. I love, anyways, I like to share stuff with people that you may not know that it's there.
Please share your crap with me, bro. I was kidding.
And with the TV shows, it's kind of cool too, because as you watch the shows, like I've seen 6 episodes of Stargirl, so I should have these marked.
Yeah.
So what you do is as you watch it, you just click like, oh, I've seen season 3. Okay, I've seen season 4, season 5. Okay, 6. So you can see the little progress bar goes up. The good one example to use. Where's Superman? That was the one that I've been watching. Of course, it's not going to be here.
And Lois.
Oh, it's because I'm caught up. So, yeah, you'll know, like, the progress bar, like, oh, if there's new episodes, that's what the little bar is kind of cool for. But I have it filtered, so it's not showing me. So, like, here we go, Superman Lois. I'm all caught up, right? So I've seen the last episode, 3 days left till the next one. And then once that's available, a little button will appear that I can watch it. So that's another cool thing, too. Like, like Cobra Kai is one of my favorite shows. I'll know when it's available, because sometimes you just don't even know your show comes out. So, anyways, I just like to share that sort of stuff. Ed Brewer says, Just Watch is okay. I like Real Good. I've never heard of Real Good. I might check that out. Dragon Man says, what's the name of the service again? It's called Just Watch. So I'll put it in here, justwatch.com. And it's free. It's totally simple. Like I said, check it out. It has like every streaming service on like if you have obscure streaming services, they're going to be here. You just hit the little plus button here, and then like you can go through and you can see like there's a ton of streaming services you can add, which I think is really neat. So who's joining us?
That's just me.
Oh, is that you?
I was fooling around. I was seeing because I'm on Discord through my PC, and I was wondering like, can I watch it? Because I'm sharing two from my screen. I was wondering if I could watch the stream through my phone.
Oh, I can click on your stream. Okay, let's see what Vankman's got on his stream. Oh, he's got Thor, Baldur the Brave, and it says Superman versus. I don't think I've ever read that Baldur the Brave series. There was a mini series that came out. I think it was like a 6-issue series.
1 through 4. I think it was a 4-issue mini series.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there was like 2 issues of like Thor. I think was connected to it. It was in the trade. But yeah, those are the big 2 ones I got. So, and this just collects all the because I've seen like the big treasure editions, oversized of these. but this collects them all into one book. So it's a soft cover. So hardcover, soft cover. So then number 4 came out. This.
Let me transition. Hold on, go back. Didn't have the screen up,
Oh, sorry.
so everyone could see what I was looking at and stupidly wasn't showing.
So, okay, so want me to repeat
go
the
ahead.
spiel?
No, they heard. They just couldn't see.
All right, so like I said, it's I've seen it a couple times on the shelf, you know. So I was like, okay, what is this all about? The Bow of the Brave, and I was looking because I've seen like other ones there, but I was like, Bow of the Brave, and that's Walt Simonson. So obviously you're getting like the same art as I was reading before in the issues like Mighty Fourth, Surtur Saga. So I think this takes place before the Surtur Saga, because like somebody, I can't remember what the premise is, but it's basically like someone like their greatest enemy comes to their aid. So I don't know if it's Loki helping them or what, but like I said, it looks fun. I'm gonna check it out. I actually might put it up in the auction. Who knows? Probably both these are going to go in the auction. Who knows? That depends on this. I don't know if this is on print or not. I've been looking to see if anybody has this soft cover, and I've not seen it anywhere. So it might be out of print. I'll have to look on Amazon.
Could be.
So there we go. And then I got issue 4 of Vampires Carmella, which is pretty much Warren magazine. Continuing it, but instead of doing Vampirella, they're just suing someone who's like Vampirella. Her name's Carmilla. So, and you get different stories on there, like the original serial ones you got in the 90s, the Warren stuff magazines back in the day, 60s through the 60s. So it's just you got Vampires Carmella, and she's telling you these different tales, So it's been interesting, and they're in black and white. They're not in color, so it's old newsprint.
Nice. I seem to remember these. These magazines were the Xenoscope of the day.
Yep.
If you wanted that type of stuff, you bought these magazines, and that was another thing too. The magazines, because the Comics Code Authority was still in effect, but
you can hide me on the right side, so you can actually make me full screen. You hide the people on the right. I don't know if you can do that in Discord when you're in a chat. There should be a little arrow that hides participants to the right.
I want people to see the participants.
Okay, whatever.
So
who's talking? Obviously, it's Dr. Vic.
Well, so they know who's here. Sometimes I go on other streams, and there's just a picture of one person, and I'm like, is there anyone else on the stream? But I guess it's just me and you, so it's not hard to keep track of.
It's great. No. All right, so that's got that. I get issue 17. I get one more, and I'll have the full collage of this. I started with issue 13. And the thing is that I was just buying because they look cool, and I didn't realize because at first I didn't notice they come out every 2 weeks. So I just I pick up the cover that looks the best, and I must have forgot because I got all of them, pretty much all of them. I forgot issue 13 because issue 13 was a different one. I like the other one cover better than this one. But these variants, they're 13 through 18, pretty much are one giant mural poster.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is I'm like, dang it. So now I'm hoping that my LCS I go to has back issues. I know he does usually of The Walking Dead. He doesn't sell through all of them. I
kind of have the reverse of buyer's remorse. I kind of have a remorse of not buying this. Because I didn't ever get the original Walking Dead. I have the first 2 compendiums, so I have the first 100 issues, but I don't know. It's cool. I like collecting comics. Not necessarily for value. It's cool when your comics go up in value, but when you have comics that you really love,
yeah,
it's fun to have that collection and be able to go through it from time to time and reminisce on the covers. And I love building that collection. You start off with an issue, and then over time that builds slowly and slowly. And especially if you're collecting it as it comes out, you kind of have that nostalgia of oh yeah, I remember when this started, and then this issue came out, and then this issue, and you can look at the covers, and I'm kind of wishing I did that because it's like Walking Dead. This is a chance to like relive it all
Yes.
over again.
And it's in color. I mean, I do like the black and white. No, I will not lie. The black and white in some parts, I went reading in color. It's like, man, the color just brightens it up a lot. I liked it before when it's just dark and like gritty, as you know, because like the blackness, because it's black and white, so it really hid certain parts. And so when you like, there's a scene where like Glenn and Rick go into the city to get guns. And they're in there, and once they're walking, they come across a zombie who's on the wall. And I think they showed this in the actual TV series too. They took that part too. But in the black and white, you don't really notice because he blends in. Because you're reading a panel, and you put the page, and he's right there. It's like, damn, like I didn't see him at all. But if you go back and look, you can see him. It's just like he just blends in so much. Now in the color, you see him right away. Like, oh, here's a zombie right there, guys.
I think what would have set this book over the top is if they would have put backup stories in it.
I almost didn't get this cover because I was like, until I realized it was part of a mural thing. I was like, dang, because Holly this is supposed to be Carl. He looks, and I guess he is a little boy. So but he looks really kind of feminine a little bit. Yeah. The facial features. So I was like, is that Maggie?
Yeah. Well, little boys do look.
But yes, they do. So, he's only like 7 years old. Like when this starts off in the book, he's only like 6 or 7, so he's young. So, and this threw me off because he looks older. Yeah. At least in this, yeah. But as you go through each of these, for those who actually are following me on Instagram, you can follow me. I insert up there, Read Dr. Rankman. I posted the actual photos of like all the books together in order, except for 13, and when the next issue comes out, and they're all badass. Like that's Herschel right there. It's like Herschel in the comics. Herschel's not what he looks like in the show. He's not some decrepit old man. Herschel kicks ass in the comic books. So if you're not reading these, you should go read them. I said these are books that I could not put down because I just wanted to read the next one. And the next one, they were just that good to me. And there was character development. It's like I said, like. And I've always said about the Walking Dead TV series. The reason I stopped watching it for a while because once you get away from the small knit group and you expand the cast, it becomes less about the whole group together and more about them apart. Like what this person's doing. Let's focus on 2 people for a whole entire episode. The next episode? Let's focus on what the other people are doing. Well, these people are doing that. I don't like that crap.
If only I had known earlier that DC was going to shit the bed, I would have bought this book. Because it freed up so. Yeah. I mean, I dropped like 12. I was getting at least 12 DC books. I mean,
you should.
I dropped all of it, and I was like, and I've since got some new independent. Like I'm getting, that book that Ultra Mega is like my new favorite book. Mm-hmm. That's like 2 books because it's like a $7.99 book, but I'm glad it freed up some space. It allowed me to justify buying the Reckless hardcovers or $24.99 because I was like, I'm not paying $24.99 for books. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, it's really like 6 books. It comes out every 6 months. You're getting it all collected in a hardcover. You would have paid exactly that much if you'd have bought 6 issues softcover. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay. Cool. Since I'm not buying the DC, sure. And I wish I would have known because I think this would be a really fun book. Now I'm like, there's already 13 issues out. Like going back and backtracking seems right. That's first world problems. It's like it's only 13 issues. I've just done that so many times especially with DC, where I would be like, oh, I'm gonna go. Like I did this with what was the book I did it with? Silencer. Yeah. When Silencer was out, because it wasn't one of the books I originally wanted, but everyone was talking how great it was, and they canceled all my other New Age of Hero books that I liked. So I was like, well, I guess I'll jump on the Silencer book, and I don't want to just jump on issue 13. I'll go backwards and get all the other ones. And it was cool there. And then it was like, oh, we're canceling Silencer. I was like, you mother effers. And they did that to me like 3 times. I was like,
the great thing about these are only $3.99. So you're not paying a lot, for a series, Like,
No, I
like,
mean,
like if
but
Kirkman really wanted to, he could make you pay like $7, $7.99 for a color. He could really do the whole you know, F
no,
people
no,
over.
he
And
would.
people,
People would balk at that. I think it's a reprint
I,
book. He's already made his
yeah,
money on this. You can't.
yeah.
You sell reprints at a rip-off price. Like
But
that's stupid.
these are director's cuts. In the end, he actually shows you like stuff from the original stuff, and he talks about the series, writing this issue and stuff. So
Sure,
you're getting more,
you're getting new
more.
content, and that's great.
Yeah.
But you're not getting like a full new comics worth of
No,
content. He didn't
no, you're
hire an
not.
artist. He didn't have to rewrite anything. Which is what I was saying before. I was like, it would have been nice if they would have done backup stories. Do you remember classic X-Men?
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I have a bunch of those. Yes, and then you get a reprint, and then there'd be a different story in there as well.
Yeah, there'd be like a little like 8-page backup story at the end of it, which would be cool. The reason I say that is for collectability. You got the people who, you get these original books. And the thing about The Walking Dead is there's like first appearance of like Negan, it's worth a ton of money because people cared about this series. It's probably not going to happen the same way again, right? Oh, the first appearance of Negan in The Walking Dead Deluxe. But there could be stuff where it's like, oh shit, backup story. This is like, going to introduce new characters in the stories. You'd have a lot of opportunity of continuing on stuff, kind of like they're doing in that Skybound X, which, by the way, I heard something I did not know about. Skybound X, Kirkman said, is not going to be collected. So those books will only be available in the floppies. So if they do anything in those, and I have to applaud, Kirkman cares about the fans, man.
So the next comic book character that takes off could be from one of those issues, and if you don't have those 9 or issues, where it's from, you're not. Yeah, it's
right. And if you want that Rick Grimes story, it's not going to be collected. You got to get.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's going to go crazy because people love Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
Like the comic book people and the people who are watching the show love who loved his character on the show. They probably will seek out the other stuff because people are waiting for the Rick Grimes movies. I mean, the character is taken off. But yeah, I personally can't wait to get those. I think I said there's like 9 or 10.
5.
Only 5. Okay.
5.
Okay.
5. It comes out weekly, starting next week. I believe it's starting next week. It's either next week or the week after it starts. And it's a 5-issue or 5-week thing, and they're anthology issues, with variant covers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looks interesting.
Yeah, June 30th.
I'm Skybound. Skybound is by far my favorite indie studio.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Walking Dead obviously is canceled, except for now it's back. It's undead.
They're actually doing. Oh, they're doing second printing of these books, the deluxe covers. Did not know that.
It's a popular series. That's cool.
So if you didn't get this, they're also doing variants too. Of each character, like there is incentives, 125 incentives. You can get each character: Maggie, Herschel, Michonne, and all them, even Dale, and what Charlie Eldred is. I think it's Charlie Eldred. I think he's doing, whoever's doing this, but they're doing one in black and white, one in color. And what it is that half their face is zombie, and half their face is normal. So if those are to have all the freaking characters like that, that's an incentive right there. It'd be kind of cool. Imagine how much that probably would go. But that's a speculative part of my head too. How much it'd be worth.
Well, again, the books have to have a reason to be collectible.
Yeah.
So I think backup stories would offer that possibility.
Well, and can you imagine if the backup stories in this were actually was like like a new series he's got launching? This is read the new story in these back issues, and then finally after these he'll branch off into a whole new book.
What would be amazing to me is if Walking Dead Deluxe didn't end at 193
and this kept going
and just kept going.
Oh, you know what? I probably could see him doing that though. I
Could
mean,
you imagine? People would be like, "What?
yeah,
There's a 194?"
yeah. July 7th is Skybound X #1,
Oh
and
man.
that is 8 variants. Also, Firepower 13 comes out the same day,
Yeah, Firepower is one of my favorite books.
and Walking Dead Deluxe 18. So all 3 books are coming up. Freaking Kirkman, I'm buying 3 books from you on that day. It's plus variants.
Uh, Tehillim says that not all the New Age of Heroes were canceled. The Terrifics had the longest run on the New Age of Heroes. It did have the longest run, but all the New Age of Heroes were canceled. The Terrifics was just canceled the latest at 25. But yeah, they all got canceled. Thanks, Dan Didio. One of the best line-wide comic events ever was murdered, so they could bring Bendis over.
Jacob Massey's bringing up that Charlie is the artist of The Walking Dead. Yeah, but not always on the covers though. They're variant covers, and it is, so he was doing interior. Yeah, I don't know if I thought him and Kirkman had a falling out, didn't they?
The original artist, yeah, they had a falling out.
Was that Charlie Adlard?
I can't remember the name. Whoever the guy is who did like the first half a dozen or whatever dozen issues.
I thought it was him. Maybe it was. I actually know what? I take it back. Charlie Adlard took over, I believe.
Yeah, whatever the original guy is had a falling out. Which
it's Ryan Ottley. Screwed.
No, it wasn't Ryan Ottley. But yeah, like I can't believe this book is Walking Dead got canceled. Like I on one part of me is like, bravo Kirkman for like sticking to your guns and going out your way. I love the way he ended Walking Dead. I love that everyone took everyone by surprise. That's the way you should do. Everything about that I love. But also, the book was popular. Like, part of me is like, look, you told your story.
Yep.
And it's done, and I applaud you. Why don't you hire a writer of your choosing that you like and give them permission to say, look, you now tell your Walking Dead story, and we'll just continue it from 194, right? Like, kind of like when Claremont took over X-Men. It was like, you're going to take it in a whole new direction. That's fine. Like, let it go. Like, the fans want Walking Dead. It doesn't, your story is complete. Even if, and that's why I said I think this would be a great way to do this is with Walking Dead Deluxe, because then the original run is still complete. The original Walking Dead ends at 193, but the Walking Dead Deluxe would not end, and it would take a lot of people by surprise, and it would all of a sudden make the collectability of Walking Dead Deluxe issues, because people are like, oh shit, those issues matter now. I need to go get the first appearance of Negan. I didn't think it mattered.
Yeah. Skybound #1 is going to be $4.99, where these are $3.99. So he's just raising up $1 for the books.
Those Skybound books, I think, are going to be thick though, because they're anthologies. They're like multiple stories in the books.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Original was Terry Moore, the first 6 issues. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Good old Terry Moore, whoever that is.
Terry Moore was original artist.
Yeah, I know, Walking Dead, but I still don't know who that is. I'm just like, poor guy. It's like you were the co-creator of the most successful indie comic of all time, and
he still gets royalties though from those first 6 issues, right?
He gets something, but I think that's part of the contention is that Kirkman kind of pushed him out and was taken to. I don't know the full details, so. But now, regardless, I guess no matter how much you didn't like what your deal was with Kirkman, you have nothing now.
Yeah.
Because whatever your deal was back then, when Walking Dead was on issue like 12, they didn't have an AMC deal. There wasn't like 3 TV shows, potential movies. There wasn't all the merch. Like you were just like, hey, it's kind of a successful comic. Like.
So to quote another YouTuber, Kirkman, when he died, who's going to take over The Walking Dead?
Dragon Magic says he thinks there was a lawsuit,
Yeah.
which I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, he did create the first 6 issues, but I mean, he did create those characters, right? Drawing them stuff. So he has like he must, yeah, like I said, they co-created it. So I mean, like, it takes two people, an artist and like everybody says like Stan Lee created Spider-Man, the idea, but it was Ditko who like drew it out first.
Oh yeah, I think some of
You
these
know,
I think some of these people get a little overzealous on the hating Stan Lee. Like for example, like Silver Surfer was one of my favorite characters. I constantly hear a lot of people be like, "Oh, Jack Kirby got screwed, and Stan Lee didn't create Silver Surfer. Jack Kirby did."
can you imagine if I don't think when Maze Spider was still going, I don't think it's probably as popular as it is today now, but back then, I can't speak for how popular it was, but I can imagine Lee's like, here, we'll just buy you what, Ditko? I'm like, sure, for Spider-Man stuff and all that stuff. And then, like, as soon as Ditko's like, here, I got $1,000, and it finds out, like, it turns into a multi-million-dollar, like, character, royalties and stuff. He's like, damn it. Like, look at Walking Dead. Like, I wonder how popular, actually, how much Kirkman gets off these books, royalties now. And who's to say he didn't do that with what's his name, Terry Moore? He's like, hey, Terry Moore. He's like, you want out? Okay, I'll buy your stuff out. You're good. And Terry Moore is like,
this is what I was getting at with my Silver Surfer story. So the deal is, I did some research on it. I was like, okay, what really did happen? Did Kirby really create Silver Surfer and Stan Lee stole it?
Yeah.
And da-da-da? So I did some research, and yes, technically, Kirby did create what would become the Silver Surfer. Kirby didn't name the character of the Silver Surfer. He just created a silver guy on a silver board, and just because he was just drawing, he was like, "This looks cool." There's just dude all in silver on this board, and that was it.
And then they changed it. So
Stan Lee came around and was like, "Oh yeah," and it was like, "Well, what should we name him?" And he's like, "Well, he's a silver guy on a silver board. Why don't we call him the Silver Surfer?" So Stan Lee came up with the name, came up with all his backstory. He basically took the picture that Kirby drew and imagined the story of who this character was, which is ultimately what the Silver Surfer is. Did Kirby create the design that would inspire the creation? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Should Kirby receive credit for that? Absolutely. Yeah. But ultimately, there would be no Silver Surfer without Stan Lee. Stan Lee made that. Same thing with Spider-Man. And as much as Kirby and Ditko are legends, Kirby and Ditko without Stan Lee, I know I'm going to piss off some people right now, didn't do a whole lot, right? Like, Kirby left in a huff over to DC, did his New Gods, and for Kirby fanatics, like, oh yeah, like New Gods, oh, but from a sales number, from a classics standpoint, the New Gods aren't household names like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and all this stuff.
You need the story. Like, I just draw a guy sitting in a boat. Okay. And then, like, that's nothing. It's just a guy in a boat. Somebody else has an idea, takes that guy who's in a boat, turns him into something badass. And people like that because, oh, it's this guy in a boat, and he's going around killing people. It's John Wick in a boat. It's like, how dumb that is, but the guy who came up with the idea and all that stuff, that's the person who made the character what it is. It's like, it's like stick figures. Like, you can have a stick figure. Like, the most stupidest idea can, or whatever drawing can be turned into something great if somebody actually has like a really great idea to do with it. And like I said, they get like Ditko, as Marina says, is Kirby drew Spider-Man, but Ditko refined it, by getting the character through the origin. So
no, that's not true. Just Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko created Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Like
it wasn't Kirby, Maranya. Stanley and Steve Ditko are the only credited people.
Yeah.
To that.
Kirby did for X-Men.
Kirby did like Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer. Probably X-Men. I can't remember off the top of my head, but probably. But Spider-Man was the Ditko. But going back to that, Ditko did a similar thing. He left Marvel, so he went over to DC, And he did. His biggest character is probably the Question, which again, there's hardcore Question fans who are like, oh yeah, Question's great. But dude, he's not a household name.
I only know.
And then when he left comics and did his indie stuff, like no one knows. Like he didn't have that. So you could tell the common denominator here is Stan Lee. And I'm not trying to say, like, I'm not trying to demean Ditko or Kirby in any way. I'm just trying to refute. Like, it's just frustrating because I hear these arguments all the time about Stan Lee stole this and stole that. And it's like, no, he did obviously collaborate and use. Like, there would be no Silver Surfer without Kirby, because Kirby wouldn't have drawn that picture and Stan Lee wouldn't have imagined the story behind it. You're right, he wouldn't have existed. But he would have just been some random silver guy that no one would have cared about without Stan Lee. Stan Lee brought him to life, you know? And that's what Stan Lee did. That's why Marvel Comics destroyed DC in the 70s and 80s, because it was just so imaginative and so vibrant. Like, he created this universe that just really took off and people resonated with.
Yeah. But okay, I guess we're getting away from what we're going to keep talking about that.
No, we can finish that. We're done with that.
People were like, I've been staring at this image for the past 30 minutes.
Sorry, go on with your comic books, Walking Dead man.
Yeah.
Here, in fact, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go refill my drink while you tell the world about your awesome comics.
This is the variant for Rob Liefeld's variant for the Infinite Destinies. This is Gary Duggan, obviously, writing it. And still, though, it was actually pretty good. This can continue that for those who haven't read the Infinite, or Kurt Mervil was doing with the Infinity Stones again. Apparently, the story is, and this is kind of a spoiler, Adam Warlock, the last Infinity War with he put souls into the stones. So now everyone is basically being attacked by one of the stones, and that soul kind of like, basically is now like giving them power and stuff. But the reason I got this because it was Liefeld. The other cover, the main cover, I don't have the thing up here, but it was kind of lame. Although I think it's funny though, because like this is Liefeld, like, hey, Rob, you drew Deadpool looking like a kid compared to Captain America, which I thought was really weird because like Captain America, like, that's cool for his size, but why is Deadpool so freaking like skinny? He looks like he's like 4 foot, or actually, yeah, probably like 5'3" compared to a guy who's probably like 6'5". So I don't know. It's just weird for the proportions.
All right, I'm back here.
All right,
you got a new Captain America book, I see.
Yeah, yep, it was up there. That was the annual. I was talking about the story and stuff. It was Gary Duggan. It wasn't Jed McKay. Jed McKay is going to do the next one, which goes into Black Cat and stuff. And I was just saying, I'm a person that I never read the original ones, so I'm not like I know there's been like 8 Infinity Stone events.
It's too many.
Secret Wars.
It's too many to count.
Look at Secret Wars. It's like Secret War 8. It's like what? But I only picked it all up because it had the Liefeld cover on it, and because it's I liked it, but I was saying the proportion was off. I'll go back, take a look at it. It's kind of funny. It's Kidpool.
Kidpool.
or like, is he supposed to be Asian? Like next to it's like, why is he so freaking short, man? Like it's like. I mean, I like this. I like Liefeld actually how he drew himself. This is how you see him in the cartoons too. Like he's kind of.
Yeah, I like my Captain America bulky. He should be. He shouldn't be over a full head taller than Deadpool. But
I know.
I do like Deadpool looking lengthy and skinny. Like he does have a Spider-Man type body, but he's I don't know. Maybe Captain America's on a step. We can't see the feet. Typical Liefeld drawing.
I know. It's like there's the thing with Liefeld. I love him, but and I give him props because he actually gave me a mention. He added me to his stuff. Like I tag him and he adds me to his story on Instagram with everybody else who bought the book. So he recognizes the fans, and that's what I love about that. He likes stuff too and stuff. That's the one thing I can say about Liefeld. He actually like communicates. He's not a dick to the people that buy stuff. At
He's not.
least not.
He's
What
not
I've
an.
seen.
He's not an
He's not.
overt dick, but dude,
He has his opinions as everybody else.
But
I'll
no,
say
I'm
that.
saying he can be a little thin-skinned sometime.
Yeah.
So
Oh, like most of us, anybody on social media, somebody
he can
tags
be a
us.
little someone. I can't remember who it was, but some prominent YouTuber that I follow was talking in something, and they were talking about how they liked Rob Liefeld and how he was extraordinarily thick-skinned and all this stuff. And I was like, "Are you following the same Rob Liefeld I am?" Gets like all pissed off when someone says he can't draw feet or makes fun of his Captain America drawing, that famous one with the distorted chest. Like he just gets fucking. I'm like, come on, Rob. You know those are bad. Just roll with the punch. Like he's constantly always like, I sold millions. Like, don't defend yourself. When you get defensive, it makes you look weak. Like you're the champ.
I look at him as being like a YouTuber. People leave comments, and after a while, you get like, you're first getting into stuff, and I guarantee, like, he should not be doing this stuff. He should know this by now. But I look at it as like a YouTuber. Like when you first start out, people leaving comments. Oh, I don't like this stuff. You're talking too quiet. You're doing that. You should do this. You should do that. Like, no, I don't like. It's boring.
I don't know. I like Liefeld. I'm not trying to just besmirch him. I do think he can get a little defensive and sensitive.
He's the Matt Damon of the comic book.
He's the Matt, sure. I just wish that he could handle stuff better because he doesn't need to. Like, if people go, dude, Liefeld, you learn to draw feet, and he'll be like, yeah, you know what? I kind of do suck at drawing feet, but you know what I don't suck at? Selling millions of New Mutant comics. Like, that's how you just do that. You'd be like, yeah, you acknowledge the things that you're not best at and just roll with it. Like, he doesn't, I don't know. I just hate.
And that's another thing that he's been doing on Instagram. You follow him. This whole past week, he was doing every day doing a raffling of. He had a spinner rack full of books. Yeah. And they had a Deadpool bear and stuff. And he was giving all you had to do is say what your favorite cover was on and stuff, and then that's it. All you're following, that's it. And then he would pick other people, go through, and that person would be contacted, and they get like the whole entire that side of the rack.
That's rad. I remember when the Deadpool movie came out. And he like had a raffle, like he rented a theater and like had a raffle, let people just come see the movie for free. I was like, dude, that's fucking cool.
So he just did he's not gonna do it yet, but he's going to soon. He's got the New Mutants, the first appearance of the Deadpool. He's got that signed. He's gonna give that away for free. Like I said, you just gotta follow his Instagram. And then each day he's been doing stuff. Somebody actually won the whole entire, like the spinner, like comic books stuff. And a lot of people it's like, do we get the spinner rack too? He's like, no, I need this. He's like, no. He's like, but bro, he didn't get angry, but he's kind of joked around. He's like, no, these are hard to come by. So I like that because I want a spinner rack. They'd be kind of cool in my room, spinner rack for books. But I tell you, the bad thing about spinner racks, your comics spend on them. You better have them in a bag and board. If you have them loose. I just saw that all the kids stuff. They had like the signed stuff.
You have to put them in a bag.
Oh, and they were folded in half.
Yeah. You gotta put them in a bag and board. Hell, I would even be putting them in fucking top loaders.
Oh, I was ready. I was so irritated. I was like, even though it's a Sonic, I'm not gonna buy this stuff or no Archie. But I was like, dude, like these books are just trashed over there. Why aren't these like marked down? Why are you having a spinner rack still?
Dude, this is how we used to have to buy our comics, Vankman.
Oh, it's horrible.
When we go to 7-Eleven and buy comics, they were just already trashed. Like, but we didn't know. Like, it wasn't like it is today where people fucking need a 9.8 copy of their books.
Well, it's like buying those go buying a book, a regular book, not a graphic novel, and you look at the corner, it's a black cover and its corner is bent up. You see the white crease, It's like, why would I pay like top dollar for that? Like, dude, the cover's fucked up. Why? And that was threw me off too. It's like, and that's one of the reasons I always bought hardcover books. If I bought anything that wasn't a comic book, I always make sure I got hardcover because the cover wouldn't be messed up, Hopefully, but I don't know. But let's continue.
Yeah, continue. What's this? Bell Sirens.
Yeah, this is Sirens. It's a 32 page through Bell. These are the one shots they do in between. Like Bell's been doing, instead of doing 1 through 5 and 6, they've been actually putting them up one shots out every couple months. So it's been keeping up. Where some of the other books have still been like every like 72 pages. Xenoscope's going into what DC talked about doing, having just quarterlies. What works out because there are some stuff I passed up a quarterly the other day because I didn't care for it. It was like Hercules is somebody. I was like, okay, I have Hercules and some scorpion lady, and I was just like, it just sounds retarded. It's because I mean, and I shouldn't say because the whole Belle thing's been like her going against like mythical creatures like minotaurs and stuff. She's telling him to decapitate him. She's pretty much Batgirl, but was born from a rich family or family in there. Like they had the Wayne Manor Castle out in the corner, in the off in the cliff and stuff. Her her mother was a hunter before her. Everyone her whole line of hunters, they hunt facing monsters. That's her whole story, and she has cool gadget stuff. But yeah, so I've been enjoying it. Like I said, you get the cheesecake, but you also get you know what you're getting. You're going into, and you can take away the cheesecake, but don't make it look like what's her name. I mean, because sometimes the interiors they do look kind of rough. Obviously, this is a variant cover.
Well, I mean, it's Xenoscope.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's small press is going to struggle to get top artists.
Yeah, but I would say Xenoscope's pretty much becoming kind of like Boom Studios as far as like no matter what book you're picking up, you're gonna enjoy it. I guarantee it. But if you don't like any of this stuff, if it's not your cup of tea, then I understand it. But it's hard for me to go to a company and be like buying every title they have.
The one thing I like about Xenoscope is that they seem to know. I mean, they know their audience.
Yeah.
And they're making like pretty much all their books target that same audience. It's like if you like one Xenoscope book, there's a good chance you're going to like all the Xenoscope books. And I think that's a smart thing. Instead of trying to be like, well, we need to capture this demographic and that demographic and this. Just go after the one that buys the books and hit them hard. And I think Xenoscope's doing that.
These basically are like, they took basically the Grimm fairy tales. Grimm fairy tales were the first thing. And these are characters that are just spin out of it. The Beauty and the Beast. Her, she's basically supposed to be Belle, obviously, from the Beauty. And then her when she was younger, her mom brought home one of the kids that she rescued. His name was Alex, and eventually, spoilers later in the series, he does get turned into a minotaur, and one of those guys, and becomes like the Beast or her friend and stuff. So they do keep some of the fable stuff, but like I said, everything you're reading of these, you can go into it blindly, and I sort of loved about it. Dude, I bought this book. I still haven't read it yet, but because I've been loving the books since I've been buying them since 2019. I'm just like Mr. E, 2099. He's the one that got me into this stuff. He's like, wait, there's Robin Hood, and there's Red Agent and stuff. And it's like basically this chick's kicking ass. I'm like, so I was like, so is it like Dynamite? Because Dynamite has the Vampira, has the Red Sonja, but it's it's set in modern times, and it's based off kind of like the fables, kind of like too, loosely based around them. So you're not getting like when Once Upon a Time came out, that show, I was like, oh, it's been cool. It's based on fables, and then it went completely crazy far left, in the middle of the series. This is nothing like that. This is basically just them giving you what you want. It's basically, I'd say reading this is like reading a Batgirl story without having the drama and all that crap. Her freaking her person in the chair is her friend, her roommate, who found out that she is this secret huntress, warrior chick. And you know what her friend does? She has a pet turtle. She's a nerd. She has glasses. You know, there is some stupid humor in that in the book. You know, but it's like the character focuses on her, and it's just her just wanting to basically take out pretty much assholes. You know, or not. They're not. And I'm not saying that all the enemies are guys. There's been women in here too. They're evil. So that's refreshing. She's not just going against guys who are evil. They're portraying women as evil too. But I don't know. Ash, you got me into this one from Blaze Comics. For Jean Austen.
Yeah, I really want to check these out.
She's a French writer, French artist. She's been taking Robert, is he up there? Robert Howard's, or Robert Howard's, basically his tale, bringing it to life. This is the 3rd issue. And they're on an island, and they come across this there's something in the woods. Something destroyed their boat. They have no idea what it is. So they went to go up they climbed the hill because she didn't want to basically sleep on it. She didn't feel safe. So they go up there, and then while he's passed out, just sleeping, she wakes up and she sees these it's kind of like a ancient structure where they're almost like Roman temple and stuff, and there's these iron statues kind of like this standing all around a thing, and there's a creepy one in the middle with his arms up, and what you see is this statue and shit comes to life, but only she sees it, and he wakes up and nothing's changed. So it's as a reader, you don't know if that's really what's happening or if she's just paranoid. What? This is the 3rd issue, so I'm looking forward to reading that. So, like I said,
I was flipping through that at the store, and it's got good art too.
I'm not a Conan person. I watched Conan the Barbarian, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was about it. I've never really Conan. I didn't mind the crossover he did with Red Sonja, but it's Conan to me has always been whenever I see anybody portray him, even in the big games, he's just he's slow. He talks stupid. He talks like he's slow, but he's a smart tactician, and he's all about...
Oh, he's smart. He's just not educated.
Yeah.
Because he grew up as a slave.
Yeah, he seems like Thor to me. He wants to drink.
Kind of. I think Thor's a little bit of a meathead, but Conan's smart. He just, like I said, he's just not... He doesn't sound smart because he grew up as a slave, so he doesn't have the language...
this is something, it's just some girl that was,
The mistake when I see him written the comics and stuff is people try to write him as dumb, me Conan, shut up. No,
in the 1st issue, he basically wants nothing to do with anybody. She's fleeing some guy who basically wants to make her concubine, and she's trying to let her be a slave, so she run away. The guy and Conan's leave me alone, go away. I don't want to have nothing to do with your problem or whatever. Go away, woman. He's you're just gonna cause me more grief. I am trying to, and then the guy comes up and he's a woman, and Conan's no, she's no one is a slave, because he basically hates people. He hates slavers because himself was a slave.
Yep.
So, and he just kills the guy, and then they flee on a boat, and they end up being washed ashore on this island to hide out for a while. So, like I said, it's really good. It's not normally what I see. Like I said, sometimes people write them stupid.
These are based on the, from what I understand, these are the actual Robert E. Howard books
from 1930s
into the comics.
Yes.
So you're getting original stories by the Conan author.
Yes.
Not some idea from some hipster in 2021 who goes, well, I can write Conan.
If this would have been Dynamite, and this is based on Robert Here's, and then they just make they put their propaganda crap in there. Dynamite does that sometimes with some of the books.
Can you imagine what's his name, Mark Russell, writing Conan?
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine Vita Alea writing Conan Barbarian?
I would. She's just a snooze fest. Everything she writes is just
it's the same story, different character.
Nothing happens. Characters walk around talking. Oh, they praise each other. Just nothing happens.
You know what happens if you put Mariko Tamaki and her together? You can kick her walking around eating a sandwich. But like I said, this kind of was on my radar. And then you said something, and then I was reading up Virginie. I forgot how. That's not Virginia. Actually, no, I think it is Virginia. For whatever reason, they have it as Virginie on the book, but I think maybe that's the French way spelling it or something. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's she's does a lot of. I love her art on Instagram. So I said, if you're not on Instagram, like a lot of these writers and artists are on here, and like you get to see stuff like like cool stuff like this, like the artists. I never really know like pay attention to the variance artists. Like, oh, this guy does a variance artist, and then I never see that name again. But I've been looking because they show like off their work, their portfolio, and I'm like, hey, dang, this is kind of cool. So it's like, and it kind of like encourages me to go, okay, I want to look up this person on who's on like the Com Geeks. Okay, this person. This is this person on Instagram. I want to see what else they've done. That's one of the cool things about Instagram. But I know Ash, we've talked before. Like, it's either you want to be on a social media or don't want to be on a social media whatsoever at this point. And there's so many of them. I know there's like I said, like we've talked. Facebook, I use it a little bit to promote channel. Sometimes Instagram, I do that more. Twitter is my main thing because I have the groups. But like Instagram and Twitter are my main things. Facebook's kind of fallen to the thing because I just got the point where you can't really post what you want to post. And look what's going on Instagram. I mean, I was gonna type a comment saying that Hunter Biden was a disgusting human being. You're like, do you really want to do this? Someone else has been reported for saying this. I was like, really? You're telling me we're gonna basically kindly like we're going to cancel your channel, just delete you if we go. You have 30 seconds to comply. It's like what? It's like the freaking RoboCop. 10 seconds. Drop your weapon. I dropped it already, and then just shoots the guy out the window.
Speaking of 10 seconds to comply, let's get on with your books. You're turning this into an all-night affair. All your books. I mean, as much as I like the books you got.
I don't have that many, but Catwoman 32. Surprisingly, I took a chance on this for $5. I got the variant for $4.99 because it's normally just $3, $4.
I don't like her face in that picture.
It was better than the original cover. Original cover has some guy looking like he's the new. So he's a religious nut, who's an assassin. He's been hired by the Penguin to kill her. So I got this because I don't want to look at the other guy's face. I'd rather have her. It's Catwoman. We had Catwoman on the cover, not other people. This is a variant for Flash 771. I like this because it's basically it's Wild West going through time, and they are leading Wild West to be taking over the mantle because Barry is leaving his comic book. I think Barry's gonna have his own title. So I read it and I really love it. So even Zach, all 5 Zachs gave it 5 thumbs up. So check it out. The next one is gonna be the annual.
Who's writing it?
This is Jeremy Adams.
Okay, I don't know this guy.
He took over for Josh Williamson. Josh Williamson. Again, at first I was like, I didn't care because he had his story. His first story was Alchemist, and then I read it. I was like, dude, even Breen liked it. That's how you know it's a good book.
Well, that's good. Maybe this Jeremy Adams guy is good. I don't know. I mean, I like Josh Williamson, so
I got both of these because I actually did like the book. I'm probably gonna flip one of them. But yeah,
this one was only selling for $10 at the store today, so it's like that the hype is mellowing off.
Maybe, yeah.
Or maybe the sticker or maybe the code in this one is not as exciting.
I know number 3 has the first one and the third one. The third one has Batman's suit like this, skin like this. Well, this is a bad representation, but it looks pretty cool. They have that skin at issue number 3, and then they have the first one is Harley Quinn. Those are the big 2 that people want. So
what I want is in issue 6. I want to see Batman going down on Catwoman.
You will get that
in issue 6 of the Fortnite comic.
That'll be in Fortnite itself.
That'd be hilarious.
Hot coffee mode in Fortnite. Backdoor. This is the 150 variant. Berserk, we're talking about.
You're
this.
Crazy. A 1 in 50 variant. Jeez.
$20. Ain't that bad.
No, for $20, actually, my store, which does tend to run expensive, my store, usually the variance, the dollar amount is roughly equivalent to whatever the number is. So if it's 1 in 50, it's like $50. If it's 1 in 500, it's $500. That's typically how it goes, and it's obviously higher or lower depending on the popularity of the book.
Yeah.
But just so I was like, oh, $20 for 1 in 50. That's not bad.
I'm like, dude, it's spot on Keanu Reeves holding a grenade, pulling the pin out. So that's
It is a cool picture. It is.
And this is the foil cover for the variant. That's a 499. There's a virgin cover that's a good. It's also like a 1 in 100, or something like that. A variant.
There's three versions of the one on the left. You have there's a 1 in 50, a 1 in 100, and I think a 1 in 500.
Yeah.
That's on one on the left.
Trigger Massey depends. I mean, I like stock card variants more than I go out and buy variants. I mean, I bought this because it's freaking Keanu Reeves holding a freaking grenade, man. I'm a Keanu Reeves guy, so that's the reason I got it. I was like,
what if it was Keanu Reeves holding boobs?
If it was Keanu Reeves
then he would have been like, I'll get the 1 in 500 variant.
If it's Keanu Reeves sitting on those old school plaid lawn chairs, and having a beer in his hand and giving it the finger, I'd give $100 for that cover. It's like,
I do like Keanu Reeves, I have to say. Like, I don't really get behind movie stars very much, but I like that Keanu Reeves is like super humble and really cool. And the stories I've heard about him on set, like when he did The Matrix, he was like the first one to show up and the last one to leave for shooting. He like put in so much effort into those movies to like learn the martial arts and do all this stuff. Like he worked his ass off to try to deliver. And then when they wrapped up shooting, he bought like all the props guys. I forget exactly who it was, but it was like something like the props guys and the grips and all the, the people like behind the scenes that don't get much credit. Mm-hmm. He like bought them all like new cars.
Nice.
He was just like, I was like, dude, that's like, I mean, he's massively multimillionaire, but just the gesture to do that. So many other movie stars would just be like, whatever, and move on. Like, it's just, and he lives in my neck of the woods. So
does he have a castle? Do you see it from your house?
No. Like from what I've heard, I've never seen him personally, but I know people who are like, yeah, he was like, I was in this little pub doing something. Keanu Reeves came in, bought a burger, he like on his motorcycle, and I was just like, he's like a normal Joe, He doesn't get into that whole Hollywood.
He doesn't have security on him, which is weird too. Well, then again, he does conceal carry, as far as I know. I don't think they're allowed in California, but I know that he's always at that Terran Tentacle ranch or whatever. I think it's in Texas where he goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does take the courses there, and he gets other. He's helped out. He's an instructor too.
Yeah,
like,
and he's a legit.
Oh my god, you watch those videos on Instagram, dude. They're awesome. Like, it's just like, it's not just like I said. He does his own stunts. He's
legit. He's a legit martial artist too.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would want to mess with him anyway. Like I said, he's a generally cool dude. Like, he's not, and like, I just like the fact that he's the kind of guy like shows up in like my neck of the woods in small town, like suburbia of San Diego, the outskirts and stuff. He's not just living the high life in the rich part of town. It's just, like I said, I heard that story of the stuff on The Matrix. That's what made me a big fan of him, and I've been following him ever since.
If somebody said to me, like, a cop was going to give him a ticket, and he's like, and until he recognized who he was, and the guy was like, no, I'll pay the ticket and I'll buy you lunch. That'd be Keanu. I'd be like, that's probably true. But yeah, this is the foil variants. I've been loving these. The one you had was kind of cool, but I'm like, this is the action one too. And then I saw there's a version cover of this too. I was like, I still like the style.
I don't like virgins. Covers. I don't like virgin covers. But my thing is, this cover was kind of cool. I'm just an A cover kind of guy. And when the foil, like, I got the cover C, which is what I got, but it's a foil version of cover A.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it's not really a variant, even though it is. But the regular cover looks weird because it's just where the foil is. It's just like gray. And I'm like, this looks kind of ugly. Like, why wouldn't you get the foil? But
right.
I guess.
I said, get a Virgin cover. What's the point of that? Just go get a poster. I mean,
Well,
I like. If I got a Virgin for this, I'd forget what the hell it is.
if they make a poster, I gotta tell you, I would like the version of that Dynamite book that we both got.
10 years from now, if there wasn't this on there, I'm like, what book is this?
Right. That's what I hate about Virgins. I like the way DC does their art covers, where it's like they just put the title of the book in small print and the number up top, so it's like it's almost a Virgin, but you can still tell what it is.
Now I want. Now they're talking about Highlander and stuff. Now I want Keanu Reeves as the next Highlander. There can only be one. Yeah,
I want to see
the game, but I'm the only one.
I just want to see Berserker. I hope they make this into a good movie. I mean, because I already know they already have the deal. Like, it's this book. I guess before it came out, they signed a Netflix deal for a movie and an original anime series. So
I hope my thing too is that I hope the anime series is actually good anime, because I've seen some wonky looking anime stuff when they try to base off someone. Like, example is like when they had
I'm guessing it'll be Netflix quote unquote style anime, you know.
Yeah.
It won't be like, it could be. I guess they could go to a Japanese. Dude, knowing Keanu Reeves, he could possibly be like, no, we need authentic. You know, we're going to Japan. I could see Keanu Reeves being that type of guy. But even if it's the quality of like the Dragon Prince or Voltron, I'll be okay with that, because Invincible taught me that even with mediocre animation, if you have a good story to tell, it can be good. Now, would I rather it be awesome? Sure. But I just want the movie to be good. Please don't suck in the movie. If the anime sucks, whatever. But
I would love for if they do get animation, get the people who behind Castlevania, the Warren House had for like animating stuff and destroying stuff, because this over the top is just like phenomenal.
Yeah,
you know,
I would be down for that.
Oh man, and because it would fit too for what this is. This is, for those Berserker, there's a lot of violence in this book.
You know, Netflix is probably just like they're like chomping at the bit because they saw how good Invincible did over at Amazon.
So is Keanu gonna be like the main star in a character, or are they gonna be like they're gonna play some with some black guy on Netflix again? And a clan of Vikings, this black guy is brought to us. Why if you not he's up to somebody else?
Dude, no, it's gonna be Keanu. Come on. that's a funny joke though.
All right, so I only got one more book, and cards. It's this.
Did you buy two?
I bought two.
Holy shit, dude! Did one of your lotto tickets come in? Like, these are $10 books.
It was worth it because I couldn't decide between both of them.
I almost got the one on the left, but I decided to go with the A. They're both Ryan Stegman. I was like, I like Ryan Stegman art, but I went with the A cover.
Yeah, I forgot who actually did the cover on the one on the right. I was trying to. That's the one thing too, is like when you're on Instagram, I tagged the artist and stuff to give them credit, and I'm like, who is this person? And then like they don't have an actual Instagram, so it's like I can't tag them. I always get sad over that because like they should get the credit. And if I'm praising their book. It's Elizabeth Torque. Does the one on I believe the one on the right. Or no, it's Stegman. Stegman's the one on the right.
Stegman's the left.
And then it's Elizabeth Torque. And I'm not sure what else she does.
I think that's Stegman. Like, actually, it's hard to tell.
I think one of them is Stegman because I did tag it. And let's just.
Okay, it's definitely the one on the left.
Yeah, it's Stegman. It's Stegman. Yes,
the one on the right is for sure not Stegman.
Yeah, and that's one I got because like this is cool. Even though it has the price go there, I love the face and I love everything. It's just like it just feels like Venom. You know, that's like Kate's. That's always gonna be his say. It's like a spawn. You know.
Well, Stegman.
And I'm not saying it feels like Spawn. You know. It's a Kate's version though with Stegman. Yeah, Stegman doing this, but
What I'm
This
saying is
old,
Stegman's art. Like, it's his
yeah,
art
yeah,
design.
yeah. It's art design, but the character itself, the wings and stuff, it's always gonna be Kate's. I'm always gonna think of Kate's. You know,
Uh,
versus where the original version, I forgot was who did the original. It was it
original.
was it
McFarlane did original Venom.
yeah. This kind of goes back to McFarlane almost with the teeth and stuff.
It is an older classic design.
Yeah. I love that design. It brings me back to the 1994 cartoon series too. The big eyes and stuff, the tongue hanging out. Uh, Instead, so I love like old, new. That's why I was like I had to get both. So I don't. Have you read the story yet?
No, I just got him today.
Let me know what you think of. I'm curious because I liked it. Um, but
So I'm putting up on the screen my comic again. You can see. So Stegman did.
okay.
There's a slight variant. You can tell like the sword. He's in a different pose. He's sitting down instead of standing up. I really liked. If I were to get two, I would have got both Stegmans probably. Although I do like the Jacques cover. The Jacques cover was pretty cool too. That he's the one that was like all the white cover with this like the triangular Venom face in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that one.
So
Oh, did you end your?
yeah, I ended my sorry because I think you're on yours. But...
Oh no, I went back to you. All right, we're done with new comic book day, I guess. So I got something that's gonna make some people vomit in their mouth.
Undo.
So
Give me less money. Well, we were supposed to get stimulus money.
I
Dang
picked up at the store. Got my new drink here. I got some Coke and coffee. What that coffee Coke or whatever they call it.
Oh, is it the energy one? The coffee
No.
energy Coke?
Not Coke Energy. It's the coffee.
Okay. I was like,
It's what's it called exactly? They used to call it Coke Black. Now they just call it Coca-Cola with coffee.
they can't call it Black Coke.
Yeah, I guess. Although not calling it Coke Black seems kind of racist. Like, why can't you call it Coke Black? What's wrong with black?
What do you just put in your mouth? Black Coke. Plan word.
I like a big black Coke in my mouth. Oops. No, but this is pretty good. I loved Coke Black in the day. I know a lot of people are like, but this doesn't seem to taste exactly like it, but it's good. They had I got the dark blend. This is a plain, because I was like, that's dark blend is probably the closest. Because Coke Black was legitimate, just like black coffee and Coke. Now they got like vanilla. It was like, they had a vanilla one, and then they had a caramel one. I thought of Marania. I'm like, oh, I wonder if Marania would like this. She wouldn't, though. I was like, caramel, coffee, and Coke. Like, the caramel part was weird to me. Caramel and Coke.
Coffee Coke. As it sounds.
It's good, though. I love it. I don't know.
Coca-Cola coffee.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good.
Dark blend.
That's what
vanilla,
I got. The dark blend.
Caramel. And its zero sugar counterparts comes in dark blend of vanilla. All the varieties are shelf stable and contain 69 milligrams of caffeine per 12 ounce can.
It's tasty. It's really good. But I love.
You know what? I miss
coffee.
about Coke? All this talk about Coca-Cola, and they got rid of the Coke Rewards thing. How dumb was that?
Why? How much free stuff do you expect to get, Venkman?
Hey, if you want me to hype up your stuff, and then like, okay.
Jeez, in California, man, they charge you like 10 cents a can extra for everything because they have this redemption program because they want you to recycle. So the way that it works is like you get good money for recycling cans, but basically you're getting your money back. So you're not actually getting money for it. So like you pay like 10 cents a can or whatever it is. Maybe it's 5 cents a can. I think it's 10 cents a bottle, 5 cents a can. And then you get that when you recycle it, but it's like, God Lord, man, you like buy a 12-pack, you're like, oh, it's this, and then it's like, oh wait, actually, it's all this extra. California just taxes the shit out of everyone.
As they should. You guys live in like paradise over there.
Paradise, yeah.
Not anymore, but like you're the people. It is nice over there with all the stuff.
Ed Brewer just said Pepsi and milk.
Like
I think I just vomited in my mouth a little bit.
Together, or is the milk a chaser?
Pepsi and milk. Interesting.
It's like having milk that's butter flavored. Or weird.
Watch it be like one of those like crazy things that's like so good. You're like, oh my God, I never dreamed it could be so good. Milk goes in things. Like, dude, you ever put milk in your tea?
Yeah, I do.
It's a British thing to do. Like, a lot of Americans think it's weird, but
oh, okay. Pepsi milk is like a melted root beer float. And that's there's a recipe. Pour a half cup of whole milk. The higher the fat, the higher the flavor. And top of Pepsi. Stir if desired. But you also want to fill the glass with ice first, though. Ed Brewer, are you like British? It's good. That doesn't sound like anything American would drink. When you're too cheap that you can't afford ice cream, you get the milk and you make your own milk.
I gotta say, dude, a Coke float is amazing. I love Coke floats. I mean, root beer floats are good. Don't get me wrong, but a Coke float, that's the best.
Arby's scammed me. They had a Barks root beer float. I was like, oh, I've never had Barks before. I'll try it. No.
You don't like Barks?
No, I don't.
What's wrong with you?
I like every other root beer flavor.
You're like a mug drinker, aren't you? Or Dad's?
Mug is Dad's. I've never had Dad's. I've had Dad's hard. They said you're not your dad's.
Not your Dad's. No, there's a root beer brand called Dad's.
Dad's I don't know about. There's a beer. There's a gold one called Not Your Dad's Root Beer.
Right. No, that's why I said not your Dad's. But there's an actual root beer brand called Dad's Root Beer.
I've had those. Mug is gross. I don't like that one either. I don't like the Dad's Root Beer.
Okay, you don't like Dad's. You don't like Mug. So
I like
Mug is by Pepsi. Dad's.
I grew up liking Sprecher and A&W.
I've never heard of Sprecher.
Sprecher is based out of Kenosha in Wisconsin.
Okay, so
it's brewed here.
Okay, so it's a little indie brand.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
those indie brands are always off the charts. Like those don't count because they're always great. I'm talking about the mainstream ones that you get at Walmart.
My favorite one right now is the A&W. I still love going to the A&W restaurants they have around here.
A&W is the second best for me.
Yeah,
because A&W adds like some sort of vanilla flavor to it. Their root beer is like the creamiest. But Barks I like because it's just the opposite. It doesn't have that creaminess. It's got like a hardest root beer bite, which I really like. So
yeah. I
go back and forth between Barks and A&W.
I want to touch back on Brugger's comment about the Pepsi mug. Are you referencing the Laverne and Shirley episode where Laverne accidentally, drank the Pepsi in the milk?
Oh, that's weird.
In an episode there's Laverne and Shirley, Laverne actually, she drank it, and the South Africans call the mix brown cow. So
Tehillim says California only taxes the woke. I can assure you that's not true because I get taxed the shit out of. And I'm not woke. I'm pretty opposite of woke. I would actually go as far as to say that California taxes the shit out of the non-woke. Gives all your money to the woke. It's like the Robin Hood. We tax the woke we tax the rich and give to the woke. How does that work?
Dude, I don't know, but the more we talk about this milk and Pepsi, we're losing viewers.
Yeah, I'm trying to move away from this.
Well, even 7-Eleven has Coke floats too, and I was like, I never tried it because I don't like Coke.
7-Eleven has Coke floats?
Yeah, the one here had Coke floats.
How do they do that? They don't have ice cream.
Or it's not Coke, but it was a Coke slushie. Sorry.
Oh yeah, slush. That's different. I'm talking about the floats
Yeah,
with like
yeah.
vanilla ice cream.
Um, I thought another place. I think Arby's used to have Coke floats.
Yeah, no, they
There's
still
another.
do. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get the small ones for $1.
Uh,
Yeah, I love.
no,
Um,
oh no. Hey Google. Screw you, Google. Now there's milk and Mountain Dew.
oh,
It's like, my stomach's just like, are you trying to kill yourself here? uh you know what? This is probably how these flavors for Mountain Dew are made.
Mountain Dews is getting lazy now, though. They're pretty much just like, oh, what fruit flavor can we mix with Mountain Dew? That's what they do. Everyone is just like, oh, it's
yeah.
They don't have they need an apple. They had They had like a premium Mountain Dew for a while called whatever label. It started off with black label, then they had white label, and then they had green label. And the green label was apple. It was decent, but they need to do like a sour apple Mountain Dew.
Well, I mean, they always do like the fruit soda. You imagine if these soda companies started doing like, this is ham flavored soda, like just some weird stuff like that. Because Jones was doing weird stuff.
Say like Jones.
This tastes like split pea soup,
mashed potatoes and gravy soda. You're like,
It's like I really want to try this.
Hey, Jimmy's in the house. He says, I'm here. The party can begin. All right. And that goes for the show tonight. Thanks for everyone coming by. I kid. I'm joking.
Jimmy looks like a guy who drinks milk and Pepsi. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Gross. Probably, it's probably actually fine. Milk has a very like mild flavor. Like it just sort of creams things up. It doesn't actually, like if you like mix like buttermilk with it, that'd be gross. But just straight milk,
right?
Like I said, you can put it in your tea. If it doesn't mess up tea, maybe it's actually good. Maybe it's something we should try.
I don't know. I think so. The older we get, the more weird stuff we try, I guess.
What
right?
if I put milk in my coffee Coke? Right? Because milk goes in coffee. Shit. No, I'm not going to do that.
I don't know.
These are too expensive to experiment with.
I'm at the point where I'm now browsing sites I don't go on, like CBR. See what they're talking about. Oh, stuff that I don't care about. It's In the Heights. Yeah. Go to Extreme Movie Show later on and watch Ankle Teen's review of that. It's only 20 minutes long, and you'll never get those minutes back. Yeah, we talked about Marvel's Aliens. The most dangerous xenomorph yet. Gabriel Cruz comes face to face with the most terrifying and dangerous xenomorph ever.
Jimmy says he'll never put milk in Pepsi. Oh, I don't know. I bet if Brian Michael Bendis offered you a signed, what could he offer? What could he offer Jimmy signed?
Zack Snyder shares new Green Lantern concept art of the Green Lantern paying a visit to Bruce Wayne.
If Mike Mignola offered you a signed copy of first appearance of Hellboy #1 to drink, you would do it. You would do it.
He's like, I'll have 10 glasses. Pepto-Bismol, my friend. Chugging it in between.
Gross.
Oh, man. Oh, another thing that everybody's up in arms now is the new Victoria's Secret now. They're hiring people like that. The girl, I forgot her name is. That's so much I don't care about her. Actually, I don't care about her. She was from the soccer team, the U.S. soccer team, for the women's. And no, they're upset. She's the one that was going around sprouting her mouth off. She kind of looks like a crackhead version of Ellen DeGeneres. So apparently they hired her. She's going to be a new Victoria's Secret model. Yeah, right? If you're a woman, don't be proud of being beautiful. You gotta
I'm
Just let
sure
yourself
she
go.
has, as an athlete, she probably at least has a decent body, maybe.
Do you think she'll really go in bra and panties and wings? Probably not.
I don't
We're
know.
gonna Victoria's Secret now. There's long underwear that your grandfather wore.
Oh, like 1800s grandma underwear.
Yeah, or the long johns.
It's so stupid. Oh my god, the idea of Victoria's Secret going woke is just so stupid. Uh,
Yeah. Yup.
Speaking of stupid, I just discovered that DC Comics has a comic book called Spy Hunter and Paperboy. Yes, Spy Hunter the video game and Paperboy the video game have been adapted into a comic book together. It is called Spy Hunter and Paperboy. And apparently it's only on digital because no fucking comic book store would ever order this shit. What is... Oh my god, it's written by Larry Hama.
Wasn't Spy
What
Hunter
the fuck? Larry Hama, like, dude, come on, let's give this guy a real comic. Why is he writing? And look, oh my god, look at this cover. This is a DC comic.
That doesn't look like a DC comic. That looks like it's something like an Ablaze or something like, or something like, really indie.
Terrible.
That looks like Omnipress kind of art.
Seriously, like Black Mask gets better. Like, what the you got Larry Hama writing this. And look at the interiors. Oh my god, this is DC Comics.
Can you imagine 15-year-old is like, dude, this looks great, and like he's like, wasn't this a video game back in the 90s, Spy Hunter with The Rock
doing the narrating? This would be fine for like a scholastic book for little kids, like type art or whatever, but this comic, no wonder you didn't release this in physical. But why do you have Larry Hama wasting his talent on this? Oh my god. And who greenlit, like, first of all, no one outside of like 30-year-olds and older know what Spy Hunter and Paperboy even are.
Well, yeah, like Spy Hunter is one thing,
kids don't give a shit about this.
Paperboy was Nintendo, wasn't it? Early Nintendo?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was an old school arcade. It wasn't like a Nintendo, but it was also the arcade. If you ever
like Spy Hunter, I can see people like my age knowing what it is because it was on PS1. It was I remember that it was a thing they had, and I played the game. I was like, the only thing appealing that made me buy it because they had The Rock, Dwayne Johnson was doing like the voice acting. I was like, okay, I'll try this out. And I was just like, you're just driving a car all the time. And I just got the point where it's like the game Driver. After a while, it gets boring. I want to get out on GTA and start shooting people. it's like, great. It's a car game, but it's not a car racing game. It's just a game where you have to do things. It's like, what was the other one? Wasn't it called Stunt Driver? Was it the other one? You had to do like different stunts in order to pass the level. Infinite Frontier 2D. Oh, sorry. And I'm sick of this Ruby stuff. Get rid of Ruby. Ruby does not belong anywhere when you're with Batman or anybody else. Or Justice League.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with that.
Did you know
they're like super characters.
Did you know that
the Ghostbusters, however, what the? That's offensive.
Did you know that? I don't know if you knew this, but the Ghostbusters had their own manga. Short-lived.
No, I didn't.
Manga series. Yeah, back like in the early 2000s. Back when you remember Borders. You remember that store?
Oh yeah, I liked Borders.
Yeah. That's how long ago that was.
Yikes. Although,
I was browsing. I was upstairs in their thing. I was just browsing. I'm like, hey, there's some movies. And I'm like, hey, they got stuff over here. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Ghostbusters? No, in a manga section. I was like, I picked them up. I was like, man, I wish I still had them. But they weren't that bad. But it was weird seeing like the Ghostbusters drawn in manga format. It was just something you wouldn't normally would see.
Yeah, it gets like that with anything that's adapted. Like when I look at the manga Batman or the manga X-Men, they look weird.
HR Goes Vocal says Larry Hama is returning to Wolverine in the X-Men Legends.
Yeah, what's going to be one issue?
I don't know, maybe.
That's what bothers me about that X-Men Legends book is it's just like Yeah, okay, you get a random. They do a book, and it ties in with some random issue of the past, like in the '90s, and you're like, oh, that's neat, and then just move on. It's like that's not what made X-Men work. X-Men was a long format storytelling. Like
Yeah,
it was meant to be told over years and years. Like you dove in and you invested. X-Men didn't work as one-shot stories. That's not why it was a popular book. So to do what they're doing like with this Legends, I'm like, it's cool that you brought like Walt Simonson to do a story. That's cool, but he's doing just one issue, or like that's I want to see like long form stories.
yeah, like Walt writing a 5 or 7 issue story, and then because I know for X-Men, my understanding was, at least to know the first issue was supposed to be in between these 2 issues, former issues. It's supposed to be like going on between those. So it's a story, and the story is connected to those, I guess, those stories. But it's like in between. So they're like retconning, I'd say. Not changing things, but they're getting you like more story to those stories. So I don't know how I feel about that, because I said, like, I've read the 90. I started reading the 90 stuff, like with Claremont, before he shortly left,
Mm-hmm.
And I was enjoying it. So, but let's see what's going to go on with that, because my idea is, like, I was like, you got Claremont to come back to write an X-Men Legends thing, like,
Yeah,
for
but he's
once.
gonna write like one story. He's come back before.
I know.
Remember, he did
Yeah,
X-Men
yeah,
Black, and it sucked.
yeah. I didn't read that one, but
Claremont
I don't
is
know.
not a like one
Ooh,
story writer. His strength is building up a massive soap opera epic.
there you go. Go pick up Fist of the North Star. And
Oh,
sell
Fist
that
of the North
in
Star.
the middle. Is that a volume? It's a volume 1. Is this a reprinting or is it a new one? I wonder what series that is.
It's probably a reprinting. I don't think Fist of the North Star is being redone. I could be wrong.
Manga's just doing reprints, or they're just doing reboots. It looks like the original art. Yeah, it looks like it must be the original because it looks the same. Dude, that is still one of my favorite animes and mangas. You should read that on the.
Nope, not a Fist of the North Star fan.
What? Did you? Oh, speaking of on screen, did you get your Jupiter's Legacy cover?
No, I didn't pick it up. I got all these in trades. So I was like, I don't want to get the new series in floppies, and then it just weirds me out. I gotta have them all the same. So I'm gonna get the new one in trades too. But I'm very excited about it because this series is fucking badass, despite the failure of the Netflix show. Do not let the Netflix show taint your opinion of the series.
That's the thing too.
And this book here, this is the book, Volume 3, because they renamed these books. So it can be confusing. This is the original Jupiter's Legacy miniseries collected, 5 issues. Even though it says Volume 3, this is the one that came out first. It's like Star Wars Episode 4. It's the first one. This is where you start.
Is that Legacy number 11 through 15? It's Volume 3.
So that's where you start. Now, Mark Miller, Miller, renumbered these. So this was number 1. Then this is number 2. Then this is number 3. And this is actually number 4. So the number 4 is the only one that's the right number. And they changed the name. These Jupiter's Legacy were originally called Jupiter's Circle 1 and 2.
There was another series I read like that, and I found out like that it was just completely wrong order. It's like when they released it, it's like they released the prologues after the book is already out. It's like, now you're getting before that prequel. It's like, or stuff at books. It's like, okay, now I have to move these books because they're the prequel, even though they came out later. And it's just
So what it is in order of publication, this is the first one published, but chronologically, this happens right. Like, so this is the past. These first 2 are the past, and then this is modern day, the next ones. So chronologically, you're reading it right. It's like watching the Star Wars movies like 1 through 6. What I'm suggesting you do is you watch the Star Wars movies 4 through 6 and then 1 through 3, like the way they were published. It works better that way, in my opinion. So this is the good book, but that's why. If you start with these two, you're gonna be like, why am I interested? Like it, you won't get. I don't think you'll like them. The only reason you want to read these books is for the backstories of these books, because it's about the legacy. It's called Jupiter's Legacy, and you know me, I hate legacy characters, except in this series. The legacy characters are what the story is about. These old school guys just are there to understand what the legacy is.
What's the prequel about? Them making the kids.
And this kid right here, this is the new Jonathan Kent. Since DC fucked up Jonathan Kent, this is him right here. Boom. Fuck you, DC. I hate what you did.
Challenge the Super Sons, he's back to being normal age, isn't he? In that little mini series.
Yeah, but those are stories that don't matter. They're not continuity.
Yeah, I know. But at least you're getting that, though.
It feels like a slap in the face, though. It feels like, okay, cool, I'm getting this thing that I want, but in a really sort of backhanded kind of way. Like, this should just be the norm. This is who Jonathan Kent should be. Not this, like, table scraps. Like, oh, fine, you Super Sons fans. Because, dude, the original series had Jorge Jimenez art. One of the best guys in the business.
Who's been doing the Batman stuff.
And the new series has got some schlub that I don't even know his name. I'm like, you didn't throw any effort into it because you don't care. And, you know, Tomasi's writing it, thank God. He's the only one that really probably could, but DC forced Tomasi out. It's like,
I've been liking Tomasi more, his stuff more than I'm liking Tinian, you know.
It's Tomasi. It depends on what Tynan's writing.
Yeah.
I generally think Tomasi's probably a better writer, but Tynan, when he's writing what on his A game, I really liked what he did with Justice League Dark. Mm-hmm. And I really liked his Immortal Man. Immortal Man was my favorite of the New Age of Heroes. Like, absolutely. Like, no problem. Immortal Man, best. In my opinion. So, I was, in fact, I just tweeted out today, I was talking to, interestingly enough, because, you know, X-Men shitting the bed, James Tynion is the only person that I could probably be interested. If someone said, okay, one writer gets on X-Men, what would be the one that would interest you the most? James Tynion would be who I'd pick. Because Immortal Man essentially was X-Men. It was DC going, hey, this was back when DC was doing, or Marvel was doing X-Men Red and shitting the bed. It was basically DC, like, shots fired type thing, you know, like, hey, look, we'll do X-Men really good. We're going to call it Immortal Man. And it was really good.
Oh, man.
It even had Jim Lee for one issue.
Jim Lee, who's that guy?
Pissed everyone off because were like, oh yeah, we're gonna launch this new book with Jim Lee art, and everyone's like, yay, and he's on there for one issue, and then he gets like you effers, he tricked us. And I was like, come on, guys, you really think Jim Lee was gonna be drawing a comic? Jimmy apparently gave a horrible review to this Nook book.
Apparently, for those who don't care about the Avengers and the whole current Heroes Reborn story, the latest issues of Hero Reborn, Avengers are coming face to face with the Squadron Supreme to take back their reality. Yay!
Yay!
There's your 5-second plug right there. Go check it out.
Heroes Reborn is already over, and we're moving on.
Oh. I kid you not. I saw a tweet today. It's like guys, like, I wasn't gonna get any money, but then, you know, because I was so mad it wasn't a DC Pride book for Nightwing, but then I saw Nightwing's book and I had to get it. You know, he got, you know, the person made a, I forgot what the comment exactly was, but it was like, it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, it's just like, the person was so excited. I'm like, no matter how you got excited about the book, I guess the bottom line is that I'm glad that you actually picked up a book because you were excited about it. You know, because a lot of us we look at books. I mean, we've been talking about what books we got this week. Is anybody in the audience got anything at all from Marvel, DC, or independent stuff?
All I know is that the audience that watches my show doesn't seem real excited about DC and Marvel stuff. Like no one talks
Yeah,
about it. No one's like, "Oh man, that new Robin book is so amazing." No one's no one.
Jimmy, you had to at least buy a book this week. Did you buy anything at all? You still
He
there?
doesn't buy books anymore. I don't think.
We're down. We're down to 7.
Oh no. This static book came out at my store, and 2 of the staff, like there's a section where it's like staff recommendations where like each of the staff will pick like one book that they recommend. And it's usually like this weird books that like no one's ever heard of. But this is the first time I ever saw 2 staffers recommend the same book, and it was Static. And I was like, really? This is the book you guys picked? Now, I haven't read it, but I'm reasonably certain that this book has nothing to offer except hardcore wokeness. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't hear anyone else talking about it, though. So I'm having a hard time believing it's
There's not a little. There you go. You ask and you shall receive. That new Ron book was so amazing.
No, he said amazing.
I know. I was trying to overlook his. It's hard to concentrate when your dad's making noise in the background, right?
So here's a book I'm surprised you don't get: Lady Death. How come you don't get Lady Death?
I've been trying to collect all the Chaos books.
How come you don't get Lady Death?
That's a new one, right?
Yeah.
It's this one. It's this one I have picked up. I've been going back, and I've been actually trying to find.
This just seems like a Venkman book. Look at this.
Well, the thing is,
it's got zombies.
Yeah.
And then in the next page, it's got a hot chick with zombies. She's Venkman.
The reason I have been getting those because they're ongoing stories that have been going on. They're continuations. I don't know where they leave with the character, so I'm gonna jump into something.
It's number 1.
Yeah, but it's a number 1, but a lot of those are ongoing. Even though it's a number 1, it's a new volume, but it's a continuing story.
Oh, come on. That's like all the Dynamite books you buy.
Malvin Decimation, Chapter 11. See? Chapter 11, it says, under the 1. So I'm going back and buying the
Why is number 1 in Chapter 11 Brian Pulido? This guy's been doing Lady Death forever.
I know.
He's been successful. He's got social media. He puts these out on Kickstarter, I think, originally. And like he's just been like way before Comicsgate was ever a thing. Just quietly just out there putting his book out for his fans. Yeah, I didn't even know you could get these in stores. So
a lot of our Indiegogo things used in there for a while, and now it's like they're now in the stores now, which is cool. If you're a fan of that stuff, like I said, there's for Lady Death. I want to go back to the original '90s stuff because I've been reading the Chastity book stuff and the Vampire stuff in the early '90s. I've been really trying to get into that stuff.
It's got pretty good art.
They had their own. They had their own Valkyrie in the Chaos comics. Her name was Vandella. Well, actually, it wasn't really. She was just basically a person. I remember a girl that was given the gift of like becoming a Valkyrie by Odin. So I'm not sure how it is with the whole thing, but they did have other angels and stuff. Like they had like the angel of death, Azrael. So man, I'm not sure how much lore like they put into Brian Pulido and put into those books, but that was one of those books like along with Evangeline. That was the Rob Liefeld back in the '90s. You'd see those like in the dollar bins. I wanted to go from the very beginning and just start picking up and reading those stuff.
Come on, if you guys never seen a more Venkman book in your life, look at this.
Does it say my name on it?
Might as well.
Was it Hell Witch? That's another one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another one by his. And he has been releasing those on his Kickstarter.
Gosh, this is. I mean, if you're wanting cheesecake books,
That's what would be.
this
Yeah,
looks a
that's what
lot better than what Dynamite's currently doing.
I'm just saying that looks like a combination of Dynamite's what's been doing with the Chaos crossovers.
Because
But
Dynamite's
but
been
that's
being like, oh, let's get Mark Russell and Gail Simone to do our stuff. You're like,
Mark Russell's off of Red Sonja now.
well,
Someone else.
now,
I know.
I mean, for a while, it was just like, oh, thanks.
I'm just crossed my fingers. Christopher Priest and your run. Please leave. Go back to Marvel somewhere else. when your first issue is having Vampira trying to save a plane that's crashing, a jumbo jet, jumbo master plane, those B-52s, what do you call them, the big jumbo 7s, whatever. And then if also you're like, okay, this is kind of cool. She's trying to do this. I don't know why she's doing that, but she's trying to like save people. And then it cuts a scene where she's on a couch talking to a therapist. What? Are you freaking kidding me? Shit.
And what's going on, Mr. Polito? You did a book that has no cheesecake. Your fans are demanding.
That's beefcake, bro.
That's not even beefcake. That's just come on.
That's Randy.
Your fans are demanding more something. Still, I mean, the art's not bad. Better than most Marvel books. Better than most.
You know what's funny? My sister, like, asked her because she's 11 years older than I am. 36. She's now 47. So I asked her, "What do you want for your birthday?" Because her birthday was like was it Wednesday? Because we're gonna hang out on Sunday, meet up. And I was like, "What do you want?" Like, well, she's like, she's like, it's gonna sound stupid, but is there any Baja Blast around by you? She's like, I want some Baja Blast. I'm like, yeah, I guess I get that. It's like, if you can't find it in the cases, because like I'll take a $30 gift card, just go to the Taco Bell lobby and just buy the soda there. So I was like, so I was like, do you ever shop at it? Because usually it goes to Walmart or by her because she lives out in 6 Bars. She's like, well, I don't have it at Walmart. They don't have it. Every other flavor, they don't have that one. So I went to the store by me, and I picked up I got her 3 cases, 3 12-packs plus 2 6-packs bottles. I'm gonna surprise her. I'm like, here you go. And she's like, I was just gonna say it's like great, and I'm gonna have a whole bunch too. It's too much. So they're on sale. They're like get 3 cases, you get like 10, but or whatever, like 3 for 10. But that's funny because I'm like, I was expecting something else because just a mother of like 3 kids, I was thinking like, didn't you want anything else? I was like, girly. She's like, no, just give me like a case of soda.
So it looks like Brian Polito is ahead of the curve here.
Dude, there's
he makes every issue number 1.
Yeah,
every issue. So it's like maybe he's inspiring Marvel.
How many pages are they?
They're like 50 something.
So he's basically what I think he's doing his Xenoscope soon. I think he's just give me like the quarterlies.
Yeah, but he is like chapter number. So each book is number 1, and then has a chapter. So it's chapter 5.
So that's not Marvel. That's DC. Do you remember that in Rebirth?
No. Marvel's been doing this whole thing like number 1s.
But
in fact,
DC,
a couple of the last events that they did, like what was it? The best defense. They did that event. It was like a 6-issue thing. Every issue was a number 1.
But I remember that though. DC was doing that for a while too. Remember Rebirth? We didn't know which one was a 0. Is this issue 1 or is it Reno? This is the Rebirth. If it's remember the title.
That was just them doing a 1-shot before they launched the series. This is every issue in the series is number 1.
I know, but I'm just saying that's how stupid it was because nobody knew what was going on. So if you pick up this book, think it's number 1, and they look at it like, wait, that's not issue 1. That's a chapter. And I don't understand why he's doing that because I thought at first that was a Comixology misprint.
No, the DC is different. DC launched a number 1 for all their books as a 1-shot to launch Rebirth. So it's like, here's Flash, boom. Here's Superman, boom.
Then
And
then
they launched the ongoing series. The only thing confusing about it was knowing which one was the true one.
Which was ongoing, which was the one shot. You didn't know until you opened up the book.
Well, you did. Once you learned how to tell the trade dress, it's easy to tell.
But
this,
a lot of people,
all the books are number one.
Yeah,
there's no number twos. Period.
I'm just saying it's dumb. I don't care.
This is what Marvel's trying to get to, where like we just only make number ones all the time. I'll bet you Lady Death is the same way. Yep, number one.
Marvel should label Marvel. You know what Marvel should label them? They should label them all number twos.
Well, what Marvel should do is make every series a 2-issue miniseries. Is what I was thinking. Because if you make everything a number one, then nothing's a number one. But if you make a number two, right, then everything has a number one issue. Like, oh, look, see, it's not the number two; it's the first issue.
Dragon Magic, did you pay for that issue, or did you read it online? The Vampiro with the couch. That was issue number one of Vampiro.
Bankman, jeez, say excuse me next time.
Sorry, I broke wind, guys. It sounds like a burp. That's just how gnarly it was. Should have had that gas station burrito.
Anyways, I'm shocked that you're not getting these. That's all right.
It's the only series I haven't been picking up.
You will eventually. Well, sometime down the road, I expect to hear about how you're binging through every Lady Death comic. It'll be sometime in the future.
So Dragon Majesty, you paid twice. You paid for the book and you paid for the crap that was in it. The psychological warfare.
Is that like eating a McRib?
Dude, I kid you not. McRibs used to taste better, and whatever they did now, it just doesn't taste the same as it used to be.
Oh, they still taste good to me. It's just afterwards. The older you get, like the payoff, like it's worse. You're just like, oh no, my body can't handle.
For me, it's the aftertaste of the McRibs. Like I said, like I was going to my gas station, I was getting like they have their own Angus rib, barbecue rib sandwiches. Like they're good, and you're paying half the price of the McRib. McRibs are this kind of like you ever look at a hamburger from McDonald's? It's just like really, really thin, and that's how thin the ribs are sandwiches.
No,
now if you go, oh yeah, they are. They're just like. Hey, Zach.
They're not as thin as their hamburgers.
It's Zach, the guy who messaged us to join us like an hour ago.
Why didn't he come in?
Because he was probably doing other stuff. I don't know. I'm sure he's got 5 different excuses though why he didn't join us.
Well, I said it was an open invite, so.
But he says, "Hey, 7 swords."
Hey, 7 swords. Hey, Compass. What's this Compass book?
Is it a chick?
I don't know.
I might get it.
It's fine. Yeah, it's got a chick.
Oh, she's Muslim. I can't get it.
The art is.
It's against my religion.
The art is. Look at that. You could have had Brian Pulido doing Lady Death.
That's Greg. Hey, it's Greg Rucka. I might get it.
That's not Greg Rucka.
Go back up. I said Greg Rucka probably presents. Here. Under the title, it says Compass 1 to 5. Greg Rucka probably presents a new.
Okay, first of all, I gotta educate you here, and everyone listening. When you see this, proudly presents, that indicates that the person who's before the words proudly presents probably had nothing to do with what they're presenting.
And that's why I'm saying if it's not Greg Rucka, it's going to be great.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. But it is a pet peeve of mine because this happens all the time where it'll be like, Steven Spielberg presents blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, it's a Steven Spielberg film. I'm like, no. He just threw his name on there. He had nothing to do with it.
He's a producer, not a director.
Yeah, like he did. So all I know is I go over here to the credits on the right-hand side. There's
All right.
there's no Greg Rucka anywhere listed. Written by, art by, cover by. There's no Greg Rucka.
That's how they get you. Like you don't expect Greg Rucka, and then Greg Rucka appears. Like, are you expecting something else? Speaking of which, Greg Rucka, if you can get Lazarus the number 1 out, number 6 I think it is. I don't want to wait 3 years. You know.
I might get back into reading that sometime, but I got so many other good books.
Do you know what the bad thing about the whole Lazarus books is? Like, I don't know if it's true, but like I remember reading the back. He's like, the reason we're late because our artist needed to take a break. I'm like, is that true, or did you need to take a break and the artist just got fed up with you? It's no. Because I was curious to know what the artists are doing, you know, when like his Rucka, I can't see him unless DC's giving him another book to write. You know, I don't know. I think sometimes the artists you see like actually do more stuff than the writers do, depending on how popular the artist is.
It depends, yeah. Zach, are you coming on, or are you just gonna type in a chat? DC Comics uses that a lot. DC Comics proudly presents Teen Titans. Well, it's a little different when it's a publisher doing that. I'm talking about when it's like a creator. I see that a lot in the movies. You know, Quentin Tarantino presents.
Action Comics probably presents.
And then people will be like, "Oh, it's a Tarantino film." No, it's not. It's not. He didn't do anything.
Pixelance used to that for on Extreme Movie Show whenever we did our reviews. Like, Rob Mia probably presents for Extreme Movie Show. It's like they say we're not officiated whatsoever. It's we always do in the comments is like this video is or live stream is sponsored by Rob Media or I Love Comics. It's like, you just steal those endorsements and a little ticker going across. Did you do DC Comics? Usually use that a lot. DC Comics probably presents Teen Titans. I'm waiting for a Puppeteen. We're recapping Bad Batch tonight this morning.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Even though I gave Zach his YouTube debut, he's decided to leave me for.
Oh my gosh! Is that our next Dark Caves book?
Avengers 39. Enter the Phoenix prologue.
Thor's mother.
The story that will not die.
Jean Grey will not die.
1 million years ago. Goo goo goo.
And she destroys the vultures.
Goo 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 goo. This dude, Phoenix is not a person.
So is the Phoenix Force can be revealed to be like the 8th or something on Infinity Stone? The Phoenix Force. She's the creator of the Infinity Stones.
Have you been watching speaking of Infinity Stones, have you been watching Loki?
I saw the first episode. I have to watch the second episode because we're reviewing that later on today.
Okay.
So I haven't watched that one.
I don't want to spoil anything.
So don't talk about it, bro. It's me the other night.
Don't talk about it, bro.
Yeah, brah.
Everyone was talking about it, so I was like, you know what? I should go watch it. Now no one wants to talk about it. I'm like, damn it! What the fuck can I watch this for?
Did you read the other book, Planet Size X-Men?
Not yet, but I told you I would.
Let me know how much you loathe that book. Because you won't be loving.
When do you want to do an episode on?
Trying to think, because I'm. You could do one Monday night if you want to.
No, I can't because that's the indie comic show.
Okay. How about next Wednesday?
That's the Criminal Cast.
How about the prologue?
Are you really that booked up?
I have.
Jesus.
Well, Fridays I have. I have the I don't know because we didn't do a stream for tonight with Eagle Team. It was supposed to do Throwback Thursdays. Fridays are first appearances. So I don't know if that's going on. I know I do. I'm going this morning for I'm going fishing with my buddy, and then on. I don't know if that's usually just got a half an hour stream because we're doing Loki, and then after that I don't think really do anything. But Saturday I had the auction. Before that I'm fine. Sundays I have Batwoman and then Extreme Movie Show, but I don't think I'll be around for either of those because I'm going to dinner with my sister for her birthdays. Mondays, the only thing I have on Mondays is whatever England team decides to do. We've got issues. Like I said, Tuesdays Extreme Movie Show, Wednesdays nothing. Thursdays, like I said,
we could. Thursday. It's possible we could do it Monday, but earlier. But then if you're involved in the England team show, then you can't.
I'm on Breen's schedule. No, but and then I know Wes wants to stream with me too. Just kidding.
Right.
Did you see the stream that Breen was on the other night? I've never seen anybody older than him on a stream with him before. Literally, I think everyone was in Breen's age on that stream. I forget who it was, but it was it turned out I was like, dang, there's not even a young guy. It's everyone other is pretty much they're streaming from Breen's Marvel DC collection room. Look at their backgrounds. It's I don't know. That's always been a pet peeve of mine too. Is when people their backgrounds are they're great. It's yes, we understand you love this, but it's just kind of everybody does it though. You notice that you go on any comic channel when they show they're on camera, right? It's always their background's all the same, always. It's
gotta show off. You gotta show off your comic cred,
right? Pretty much, it's show your geek cred. Otherwise, you're not a geek. And I've always cringed about that too. It's
yeah, and a lot of them, it's just it's too much. Nerdrotic. It's
well. He has action gears. Yeah, and that's really much what his is.
I get it. You're trying to make a studio. It's just too much stuff. It's just like you were talking about earlier. It's just clutter.
I've come across people that this is people who buy I have 1,000 statues and I have my all your Marvel stuff is in one room and then they stream in that room too. It's where do you walk? And then go
ahead.
The one thing is that if you have statues, is once you get too many statues, it just basically looks like you're just playing World of Warcraft. The board game or whatever it's called, or Warhammer.
Yeah, I think it would be better if you stream, if you just had a real simple background, a shelf or something, and then just every episode, just rotate in a few things, put a statue or two that you like, so it doesn't look all crazy, but instead of let's throw it all in there, it's just too busy,
right?
Or you have a wall of comics behind you and stuff, and it's just
I like simple green screen. If you can do that, that's cool too, man. Mine is simple. What I have in my background, mine's kind of that guy's poor. He's got a TV in his background. Is that a fan? My nightstand is from the 30s. That's how old my nightstand is. My bed. And what I keep on there? My printer. And then I have the Batman statue on there. I have thrift store furniture because that's I'm not going out and buying IKEA everything. It's I gotta have IKEA this. I'm I live in a farmhouse. That's how old my house is. It's from the 70s. It's not no fancy new stuff. I got chicken wire on my walls. I represent that crap.
Hell yeah. Chicken wire on your walls.
Don't you remember the plaster? They had the chicken wire in there?
Yeah.
I'm just glad I don't have asbestos. But I don't know. It just seems I've seen Geeks and Gamers says it too. I'm not picking on Geeks and Gamers or anybody like that at all. But it's just said it just comes off not, I don't want to say gaudy, but I mean it's just yeah, so see your background, well, okay, you have this. Well, that person has the exact same background as you do. It's different comic books, or it's like I don't know. I mean, do what you want to do. Rock your room with how you want to room, But like,
No, I
it gives,
agree. Do it how you
comes
want.
up,
But I mean,
I just look at this like that's a fire hazard, And I'm thinking like, imagine if you had to move.
you do it how you want. I agree. I just there's
I was
still people have opinions on it. Like I said,
cool. And
I prefer a much more simple. Like I think if you have just a few like pictures or like statues or just a few things, they stand out a lot more.
the other thing, see, I was just thinking about too, Nerdrotic. If all his are out of the packaging, they're not worth anything. They have to be in the packaging. So I'm thinking like, that's a lot of money he could have had like in the packaging, Because I my LCS, they have those the clamshell things you can buy if you want to put your figures into them, like they sell them. But I'm thinking like most people when they collect action figures, they want the whole package, the back and everything. So it's remember the Transformers that GI Joes would have the bio on the back of the book or the board or the packaging. See like a little and you had like their power strength and all that stuff. People
Oh yeah.
love that.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I did too. And that's what makes it collectible. Just like a comic book, like you want
Yeah.
it all intact.
Yeah.
I do not buy toys or collectible figurines or anything like Funkos. I do not buy them for those. Everyone I have, I open.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. What's crazy about those is that those toys that come in pack. Some people like, well, I'll give you $100 more if there's not perforated. Where it hangs on the hanger, if it hasn't been punched out yet, non-punched. Some people are crazy like that. They're like the ones they don't have the thing where you hang on the hanger because it's not punched out. These are ones that have never been hung up.
Yeah.
People pay more for those. I was like,
they're more rare.
Yeah.
It's all about like if something's collectible, the more rare version of it is going to be worth
and then
more.
because when you punch that part out where they put the hanger in, it takes away part of the picture. It's on the actual packaging.
That's true as well. But
I just flipping through like I go through eBay once in a while to see what's going on because sometimes I've been looking at the statues that you buy, the gallery one. They call it gallery. That if you give them Marvel, DC, it's the gallery brand. I forgot who owns it, but they're affordable. They're like $50, $40. And I'm thinking, like, when I see people who have statues, I'm thinking, like, did you get that through the DC one, which are usually like $150 statues, or did you get the gallery one? And if you did, though, you have like 30 or 40 on that shelf. Did you keep the packaging? Because if you move, and you don't have the packaging to go put it back in, like my Batman and my Flash, I kept all the packaging for that. Because I know because like the one thing about reselling stuff or selling anything like that, you have to have the box. Toys too. I mean, all that stuff. Have the box that comes in And I understand for like figurines, like it has to be inside the thing, the clamshell thing. But when just like cars, if you buy like the Ecto one, is I can think of or the Ernie the GI Joe stuff, the box it comes in, people will pay just for the box, not necessarily what's in there. They just want the box because it's so rare to find those. Mm-hmm. It's insane.
Well, you have a lot of collectors too that have to piecemeal their stuff together. So like maybe they have the action figure, but they don't have it in a box. So they they go find someone who's got a box but doesn't have the action figure.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I'll just sell me the box for cheap, because you don't have, and then they put it all together.
Like I said, like it's just like that's the thing is like it's like for people who are like hoarders, it's like I know American Pickers. I'm waiting for them to go to like somebody's like bedroom, like, oh, look at all they got right there. Look all it's like because you think about it, collecting stuff. We're collectors. We collect comic books. We collect statues, all that stuff. And man, it's like we pretty much nerds are hoarders. And if you like a variety of stuff, I've seen some people. I'm not gonna name names on YouTube, but I've seen the people like have like at the point where they're getting a tour or they're live stream through their house, and they have to walk 1 foot in front of the other or turn and shimmy to the left or right. They get past shelves and shelves of just figurines, or they have movie posters, all that stuff. It gets to the point. It's like, are you in a vault? But Hey, I see my Dark Phoenix book there. X-Men Visionaries, X-Men Mutant Genesis. Those are still fair prices for those. $11, $12.74 for the X-Men the Complete Age of Apocalypse. And then we get into Astonishing X-Men. But those are those 80s, 90s. All those.
Yeah, this is the early Claremont Byrne. Claremont Byrne stuff was great.
Ooh, those are unlimited too. The Dark Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Phoenix, I admit, I don't really get excited for it as much because I think the movies are pretty much like ruined it for me, and just like how much of a joke it is. Maybe it's just the Phoenix. It's just been talked to death. That.
Yeah, but conversely, you go back and you read Dark Phoenix because the movie sucks so bad. You read it and you're like, oh, this is like so much better.
Yeah.
I always thought that the Dark Phoenix saga was overrated. I don't mean to say that it's bad in any way. It's a great story. I just don't think it's the pinnacle of X-Men stories like everyone wants to put. Like when you talk about like, what's the greatest X-Men story ever told, like 9 out of 10 people are going to say Dark Phoenix. I just think it's like the most known. I think Days of Future Past is a better story, in my opinion. Just as an example, there was a lot of the Chris Claremont run that I think Dark Phoenix was cool because they actually killed off an X-Men. And Jim Shooter made that happen. Claremont wasn't going to do it. Let's see. Flash books. I got to read Alan Moore's Swamp Thing someday.
Just have Jimmy tell you about it.
Just have Jimmy give me the Cliff Notes.
Right.
Everyone needs to read Walt Simonson Thor.
I said
the real Thor.
I wonder, did they have Bold the Brave on there? 4-issue miniseries, because that's something you could read too for your thing.
I didn't see it. Not on this list.
Yeah, it's this called Balder the Brave.
Yeah, no, I know what it is.
Yeah.
I've seen the miniseries. I just never got it because I was like, oh, who wants to buy Balder books? I want Thor.
I want the Surtur Saga, like the Mighty Thor, in just one thing where you can just read it. Like, you know, it's only like 7 issues, I think.
This is a great series. Back before Beta Ray Bill was Beta Ray Male.
Beta Ray Bill. Wasn't that the guy who worked as a cook?
I don't know why everyone likes that new Beta Ray Bill series.
I haven't read it.
It's like they made him into a little whimpering, like, I don't know. It's like, what happened to Beta Ray Bill?
Does he have Stormbreaker in it?
No, but he whines about it. He's like, oh, I don't have it anymore. Owen promised me a new one, and Thor gets all the credit, and he's got a hammer, and I don't. And Sif doesn't want to sleep with me because I got a horse face, and I'm like, why do you want to sleep with her? You're an alien. What? Like, humans should look ugly to you. Like, why would this?
Wait. One, she doesn't care about the face. We all know it's for the horse part that she wants. And two,
no, she didn't want it. That's what happened in the first issue.
She didn't want his face?
Dude, okay, seriously, hold on. There's a scene in the book where like they're kind of getting tipsy and drunk, and it's very cliche, and like Sif leads him away from the party, right, to like a back room. So they're gonna go bound chicka wow wow, you know, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Ooh, yeah, come on, soldier!" You're like, and she's all over him, and so she like plops backwards into the bed, and she's like, "Yeah, you know," and then she's like, "So, how does this work?" And she's like hinting, like he's like, "Oh, you mean my face? I thought you knew. When I have Stormbreaker, I can go back to normal, but without it, I'm stuck this way." And then she's like, "Oh," and he's like, "Yeah. I guess I'll see myself out." And it's like the most awkward thing. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, I was like, why was this necessary? Why?
I thought in Simonson's run she wanted the horse part.
She wa-
I
she wanted the bestowment.
yes,
She wanted what made him worthy.
she wanted to lift his hammer.
It was just really cringe, and I was like, oh, and no one wants. This is what I don't get. Maybe because I'm from a different time. I come from a time where you would write a scene like that, and as a guy reading it, you'd be like, yeah, dude's gonna get some. He's gonna conquer that woman. And nowadays, it's written the opposite. Like, oh, dude's gonna get rejected because he's a loser. Like,
Yeah, that woman, she's gonna get some.
he's not good enough to get into her bed. Like, and I'm like, is this what we want to read? Is this really? This is what people get excited about? Like reading about a character who's just turns.
You know what that is?
Dude, it was like a total creeper scene. Like any guy, if you've ever been in a position, if you're a guy, guys will get this. Girls probably won't. If you're a guy and you've liked a woman or a girl or whatever, but she wasn't into you, and you maybe tried to make a move or tried to flirt or try to open up the door to like, and you get the like cold shoulder because she's not into you, and then you get that instant feeling of like, oh, I'm a creeper. You're like, like, am I being creepy? It's not a pleasant thought. Guys, normal guys hate that feeling. There's some guys who are just apparently immune to that feeling, and they just like, oh, full speed ahead. But, so I'm reading that book, and you're just like, ooh, that's what it feels gross. It just feels like, ooh, like, and it's not pleasant. It's not cool. Like, why am I paying money for this? Sorry.
I don't know. Like I said, when I was reading the Surtur saga, like, and I was reading that, and they mentioned like, oh, Sif came back, and I was like, wait, Sif and her lovers read more into that stuff, and I was just like, all right, I guess Simonson, you just wanted to put that in there. He's a space horse, and she's a human. All right, hey, I don't care. Go ahead. I know you're like a small panel, and you're gone from the book.
Yeah, but in the old days, it was all more hinted at. They would allude to things. You didn't see characters. It's not like today where everything's more overt.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, for God's sakes, we got fans complaining because we're not seeing Batman go down on Catwoman. I'm like, do you need that in your book? Is it not enough to just know that they had some sort of romantic encounter and move on? That's how it happened, right? They would go behind closed doors, the door would shut, and then your imagination would take you, okay, they did it, move on. Like, but nowadays everyone's like, no, we need to see it. Come on. I'm just like, all right. I guess we just need the porn Batman issue, just full on hentai level Batman, just graphic. This is where we're at, I guess.
I mean, he's not. Going out with a woman who's actually got cat powers or anything like that. DC. Not anymore. Here, Bold and the Brave. It's a Comixology collected edition, $13. Well, I don't have that thing unlimited, but
I'll have to read that sometime.
It has a trade. The one I booked, the big book I bought, it's for $13. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it is unlimited, but 176 pages. This was released back in 2015. It's 1 through 4, and plus it has Thor. It issues 360 through 662. It says War in Hell and Odin the Allfather has gone. Hela is stockpiling souls for the fight to take its place. Mighty Thor leads Asgard's finest to rescue the dead from a fate worse than death, while Thor's brother-in-arms, Balder, battles giants to rescue his beloved Queen Carnilla, the god of thunder and god of light, which will lead Asgard to face the coming dooms. Plus, a longtime Marvel villain makes the ultimate sacrifice. What for whom? Like I said, it sounds pretty cool, and it's Walt Simonson, art by Sal Buscema.
So it's got a couple lead-in Thor issues before Simonson took over, 360 to 362.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about those, but I could just buy the 4 issues. Only $1.69
Yeah.
each. I love Simonson's art. He always did really cool covers.
But I think this is Self Buscema doing the art on this. So I think.
No, this is Simonson.
Oh, is it on the 1 through 4? Okay.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, his art has a very signature style. Once you get aware of it, like you can, I can always recognize his art. It's like Todd McFarlane.
Because I was reading Searcher Saga. It's like he and like Balder was living with some queen named Carnell. I was like, oh, I had no idea who this was at the time, but the art on this, it's pretty cool. I mean, that look at you're getting Ronnie's getting her classic color. I think print they had her four colors back in the day.
Oh, what's this? Balder the Brave says collected in this collected edition.
Yep.
So I don't even need it. If I get this collected edition, let me see.
It's volume 3.
Volume 3 has it. There we go. So that's where you get it, and that's unlimited.
Yeah, nice. You get Lorelai there too. Who had a thing for Thor?
Everyone had a thing for Thor. These are the new colorized issues too. Remember I told you they did the new coloring? So it really looks good, especially in digital format where the old 4-color process was really stark. But now you get the nice gradients that we're used to with digital coloring.
I do like the original. I mean, I've seen of that one there. I've read the pirated edition because I'm going to go back and try to find the trades if they do have trades anywhere, other than the Masterworks. The color is different. I still like the original colors though. I don't know, authentic feels, I guess.
I mean, it works. I prefer thing about one thing you can say about comics is improved over time is coloring. Yeah, completely remastered from the original artwork and dynamically recolored by Steve Oliff. And what's cool too is that Steve is an old school colorist. So he didn't do, like, you can see it's still very conservative the way it's colored. Like a modern comic would just be like super vibrant, also, every color of the rainbow, deep shades. Like, this is still very simple coloring. It just adds like the gradients and things like that.
Do you notice who the editor is? Chief?
Yeah, Jim Shooter.
Jim Shooter. That's why it was good.
This is why I always say Eric. I think Eric deep down agrees with me, but he doesn't want to admit I'm right. This is the greatest era of Marvel's Jim Shooter era. Gave us Walt Simonson Thor, gave us Frank Miller Daredevil, gave us Chris Claremont X-Men. Come on. Enough said.
Overall, we had the continuity, I think, going to with Mark Grimbold. So, I mean, they cared about the books. They cared about the fans. You're reading this. Okay, why am I reading the whole Casket of Ancient Winters? I read that story. Man, is that great. The cartoons and in the movie, if they lightly touch on it, do not do it justice. And guess what? You felt it in Spider-Man. You felt it in Iron Man. You felt it every single book that was out that was being published. When it got cold everywhere. Not just New York, and the Thor book. It was every single title going across.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
It's like, so it's like, because that's the thing too, is like, hey, it's not, and it sounds like a cash grab idea, but if anything, it makes more cooler from the fan. I like just have and I want to see what's Spider-Man's reaction to this. All of a sudden, a flash freeze, and he's like, "What the hell?" Okay, and is he fighting it? Because in the whole thing, the New York is invaded by the Dark Elf, Malekith, his army and stuff, the elves, and you see the Avengers hopping in. I want to see what Spider-Man's doing, even if it's a small, stupid story, and who cares? Spider-Man's help. All New York is under attack. People are being killed in the streets. So it's like I want to see what Spider-Man's doing. I want to see what are the X-Men doing? Are the X-Men involved in this? It's like I love that, but you don't get to see that anymore, really. That was funny. Whatever the heck that was, I saw the little the Pride Rock thing from like the guys from Lion King. There's two little guys standing on that Pride Rock. It was so dumb looking, but it's kind of cool. But there it is. Yeah, monster, bee, lion, lion queen.
Yeah, they're free. I'm picking them up.
It's the Lion King almost.
It's probably better than DC Comics.
Sorry. Yep.
I just realized I thought these were just Japanese mangas. I was skipping over these. Harlequin. I didn't know Harlequin was in the comic business.
Is it an anime or a manga?
Harlequin romance.
Oh, romance. Okay.
It looks like mangas.
Yeah.
I can't tell if it's a manga or just a style of manga. But either way,
yeah.
it's. I mean,
you'll know right away. But
this is definitely targeting. This is a female audience.
It's manga.
Like it knows. It knows who it is. Well, I don't know if it's manga because it's Harlequin. It's American.
Go down. They're generalized. It says manga.
Where does? No, that they can classify anything though. I see that all the time.
It's not presented by manga, so it's manga.
Anything that's like the style of manga can be manga. I mean, look at this. These are not manga.
I don't know.
But regardless, like this goes to what I've been saying. Like, we need to market comics for target audiences and quit trying to do this whole thing where like every comic needs to be for everyone. You know, just when you see this book here, it's like it's clear who this is for. It's like, you know, and most guys are going to be like, "Yep, not for me. Moving on." And it's fine.
Oh my, that's the manga form of those Walmart romance novels.
Yeah, Harlequin romance novels. Harlequin's like the big. That's why I was getting all shocked because I was like,
"Oh,
Harlequin's never been doing romance novels forever."
I didn't know they were the ones doing the Walmart ones.
Well, I mean, I don't know which ones exactly you're looking at, but Harlequin is like the biggest of the romance novel thing.
I've never heard of the name before. I didn't know. Yeah, that their company. So
capturing the hearts of little girls and older women for decades.
Walk or die. I think is that. Whoa! It's gonna cringy down there. His pregnant princess. Two edition.
Well, I mean, at least it's not Marvel, because then it would be her pregnant prince.
Sure, it's out there.
At Marvel, right?
Yeah. And
look at this book, Commando. I want you to notice what do you notice about this book?
Guys with guns shooting at a plane.
Anything else that stands out to you?
They have a fighting chance. And they're at number 544.6.
5,000. 5,446. The issue number.
It's a misprint. It's been going on since 1940.
5,446. It's been going on. It has 5 times as many issues as Action Comics.
Bro, that's a legacy number.
It's still that's crazy.
Right? Mando.
Just look at that, 4,341.
Higher.
Just if you want, you got some good old war books.
You need a guy to go in and just blow some shit up. I'm your guy. I'm your pilot.
Just crazy that these books. I mean, look at them. They're like 65 pages each. These are just going on forever. Can you imagine having a full collection of this?
You'd have 2 rooms to that. 500 books is one thing, you know. 4,342 books. You get every single issue. Yeesh. Now those are magazine size. You gotta buy magazine boxes. You gotta buy magazine boards. So you're looking at the price of magazine boards that are going up because of their size.
Yeah, I don't know what they're for. They look like they might be magazine size.
Jeez.
Crazy.
I'm just watching. Speaking of crazy, I'm watching the lightning storm outside my window. It always throws me off. It's like pitch black, and you just see a light. There's no thunder.
Well, we're down to no viewers.
We're down to 6.
Well, one of them is me. So we're down to 5.
One of them is me. We're down to 4.
Yeah. One of them's Ed. We're down to 3.
It's a trade secret. Always watch your own videos.
Ronnie says Denny O'Neil Iron Man was in the shooter era. See? Best Iron Man was also shooter era. Best everything. Best X-Men, shooter. Right? Best Iron Man, Jim Shooter. Best Thor, Jim Shooter.
Iron Man was a shooter comic? Okay. It was. First.
Well, come on. Think about it. Like all the best. When was the best Hulk? Jim Shooter?
Well, Peter David, Incredible Hulk, wasn't that?
Jim Shooter.
Was it?
Best
was
Daredevil was. What other comics does Marvel? Best Spider-Man era.
Shooter.
I don't know about Spider-Man's got a lot of eras.
Jim Shooter. And Marvel is your 9th editor-in-chief.
Yep. He took over for Stan Lee.
Only because Stan Lee said he could.
That is true.
Okay, well, nerdsonEarth.com says, his article says, it's said that everybody hated Jim Shooter as Marvel's editor. Well, it's true or not.
Yes, a lot of people did not like Jim Shooter, but then as we've learned, a lot of comic book pros are a bunch of diva bitches, and they don't like being told what to do, which is what Jim Shooter did. And so they got all fucking uppity.
Wait, he was an editor when he was 14 years old?
No.
Started professionally in the medium at the age of 14. He's most notable for 6 of
No. He started writing Legion of Superheroes for DC at 14.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And so better than Bendis.
All better than Bendis. Let me correct you right there.
Oh, yeah.
See, when we're on a bullshit stream like this, I can just burp into the mic and no one cares.
So Len Wein, Marv Wolfman, Greg and Archie Goodwin, they all had the job before, and then he came in and they said, you know what? They said, we're going to do everything my way. Fix it.
Yeah, because Marvel was a fucking mess. Like, they couldn't get their books shipped on time, all this stuff. He came and cleaned house. And whenever you do that, whenever you come in and you got people fucking up at their job and not doing shit right, and then you got a boss who comes in and goes, okay, those days are over. Many people hate that boss because he's kind of...
Yeah, so Stan Lee left to go oversee the Marvel animation in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think Stan Lee stayed on as publisher.
Yeah.
Stan Lee was publisher, Jim Shooter was editor-in-chief. Because I know Jim Shooter still answered, especially in the early years, he was answering directly to Stan Lee.
Yeah, that's why I hate him, because he kept the books on schedule.
Yeah, and more importantly, he forced the creators to be on schedule.
In the midst the widespread practice of missed deadlines, new titles in development, and also new talent to do.
And he forced continuity things, and he would change writing. Like, one of the famous things is he's the reason that Jean Grey died, because Chris Claremont wrote the story.
John Byrne,
and she wasn't gonna die, and he's like, I think she needs to die. You need to kill her off. And they didn't want to do that. They were upset. I think John Byrne to this day, or maybe John Byrne's upset that they brought her back. He's upset at something. But
he also wrote Marvel Treasury #8, which featured the second Superman Spider-Man intercompany crossover.
Yeah, Shooter was a writer, so
yeah,
he wrote quite a few things.
But yeah, Roger Stern's Roger Stern's runs on both Avengers and Weekly Spider-Man. And yeah, I guess that was Walt Simonson was doing for the first time ever Norse mythology in the Marvel universe under Thor. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. He just basically made Marvel better.
Oh man, I would have loved to go to that. Shooter was Steve Englehart back in the San Diego Comic-Con 1982. That would have been fun.
Yeah, that was before my time.
Me too, by 3 years.
I'm trying to think what my first Comic-Con was. I think my first Comic-Con might have been 88.
Were you in San Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see your brother San Diego. I don't know when you left, though, I have to say.
I left San Diego in 2000. I think 88 was my first.
We're down the flat.
Yeah, because I definitely went to Comic-Con before it went to the San Diego Convention Center. So I can remember when it was still kind of a little thing.
Yeah, he occasionally found himself in well-publicized conflicts with some of the writers and artists, such as Steve Gerber, Marv Wolfman, Gene Colan, John Byrne, Doug Moench. They left to work for other DC and other companies. Roy Thomas, who left Marvel following controversy with Shooter, reflected in 2005 on Shooter's editorial policies. He said when Jim Shooter took over, for better or worse, he decided to rein in things. He wanted stories the way he wanted them told. It's not a matter of whether Jim Shooter was right or wrong. It's a matter of a different approach. He was editor-in-chief and a right to impose what he wanted to. I thought it was kind of dumb, but I don't think Jim was dumb. I think the approach was wrong, and I don't think I really helped anything.
Who said that?
That's what Roy Thomas. John Romita Sr. said, Shooter had been great for the first 2 or 3 years. He got the creative people treated with more respect, got us sent to conventions first class with our ways paid, and we thought the world of him. Then his Secret Wars was a big hit. After that, he decided he knew everything and started changing everybody's stuff. That's Romita Sr. John Byrne also said similar. He said, Shooter came along when Marvel needed him, but he stayed too long. Having fixed just about everything that was wrong, he could not stop fixing things all the time. So around the time I left to do Superman, I said that I thought Shooter and Dick Giordano should trade jobs. It was the DC that needed fixing then, and do so about every 5 years or so. Shooter had put Marvel into a place where that was needed, and was a kindly father figure at the helm, and that was not Shooter. Secret Wars was when the trouble really kicked into high gear. And I was fired from Marvel in 1987. So John Byrne said he fixed things, but then he just started overreaching, and he made things worse.
And this is because John Byrne is a fucking whiny baby. John Byrne to this day still thinks he knows better than everybody. And, understandably, because he does know more than most people. So it's easy to get, But basically, John Byrne didn't like Jim Shooter. This is my opinion. He didn't like Jim Shooter because Jim Shooter reflected what John Byrne himself actually was. John Byrne was the egomaniac that thought he knew best.
Yep.
And he clashed into Jim Shooter, and hey, Jim Shooter was the boss. Plus, Jim Shooter was young. That's another thing too. Being the boss when you're a young guy, it's rough.
Oh yeah, he was born 51. He's only 69 years old now. He's probably in his 40s or 30s.
He might have been in his 20s. Remember, he started when he was
70s. Yeah,
he started when he was 14. So when he took over from Marvel, he was probably in his 20s as editor-in-chief. And you got old guys like John Romita Sr., who've been around the business forever, and you got this young kid coming in telling him what to do. Probably a lot of resentment.
Yeah.
Also, when you're young like that, you don't at least, speaking from my own experience, you don't know how to relate and deal. Like you just take the wrong approaches.
He was fired when he was 36 years old, my age right now. In 87, he was 36. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
he
was in his 20s.
started in 78, so 9 years earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably why they don't like him, because they're probably all in their 40s.
It's just, well, yeah, and like I said, when you're young, you don't know how to like have the same level of tact and relate to people. Man, I just think of all the cringy times that I was in charge as a young guy, and I just fucked up.
It just sounds like what Marvel is today. The writers do what they want to do, and the editors cater to them.
Oh, no, it was the other way around. You answered to the editors. That was...
Yeah. It's like saying,
nowadays, editors are just...
I'm just saying, Jim Shooter came in and said, no more of this bullshit. We're gonna start doing what we're here to do, and we're gonna get stuff on time because you're running the company in the ground by being divas. And they didn't like that. At first it worked, and then so I think the next person whoever does any of this will they'll call him Jim Shooter. As long as he does what Jim Shooter did, comes around.
Well, nowadays it can't. A Jim Shooter type editor can't exist because the creative staff have way too much control, way too much influence. They would raise hell like a super stink. Like if they tried to crack down, they would go through his Twitter. They'd go find every fucking piece of dirt on this guy. They would all organize with the Whisper Network and try to get this guy removed. And yeah, I don't know. Venkman is off. No power. Wah, wah, wah. All right, kids. Well, I guess that's a clue of when we should go. It's been late. Jesus, 1:19 in the morning. I still got new comics to read. I got good new comics to read. Hopefully you got good new comics. Hey, it's Paulo Costa. That's fortuitous. As soon as I'm talking about time to go, Paulo shows up and proves me right. So, Paulo, it's good to see you. I wish our time zones weren't so different and we could see you more often. But, hey, take what you can get. We were just doing an impromptu chit-chat stream. The funny thing is I was too tired to read a book, and then I ended up staying up this late. Anyway, I just didn't have the mental energy to dedicate to doing a solid reading. So I was trying to get a bunch of people on and do a cool hangout and just chit-chat about whatever came to our mind, but only Venkman wanted to join me, so that's the way it goes. Venkman, I don't know if you can actually hear me. You're in the chat, I see. Thank you for coming on. I hope your power comes back on soon. Fortunately, you've got comics, so you'll have something to do even when there's no power. So read up those books. I'm going to read up on the Planet X-Men. We'll organize the Sour Capes episode. I really look forward to doing that. The rest of you guys, thank you for being in the chat and hanging out with us. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll come back Tuesday with some new book. I don't know what I'm going to read yet. Might be Old Man Logan. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Monday night is going to be the next indie comic show, 8 p.m. Pacific. Wednesday is going to be the next episode of Criminal Cast featuring Fade Out Part 2. You can read Fade Out on Comixology. So please join us. It's really fun. Ed Brewer Baker is one of the best writers in the business of any era. He's that good. Even if you think to yourself, I'm just not into this normal crime stuff. I want superheroes. I totally understand. But his writing is so good, it transcends even genre. Like, even if it's not your favorite genre, it's good. Fade Out is great. And I urge you to try it. You can hang out with us and go over that. Breen and Nalo and Skip are also part of that. And we'll get in a Sour Capes episode on Planet Size X-Men. Hopefully, I don't know, this weekend sometime, maybe Monday. I got to talk to Mr. Backyard Moments about that. So, thanks everyone. Maranya, I'm expecting some baked goods in the mail any day now. Hint, hint. Just kidding. But really, I'm not. See you guys. Thank you for being here, and have a great night.